We're live.
We're live.
Hi, Richie.
Hi, Stin.
So I guess now we wait for somebody to show up. Do you have your laptop with you? Because for some reason, my YouTube
That's how I'm talking to you.
Oh my god. Why are you such a bully? Oh, that's how I'm talking to you, son, you idiot.
Yeah, I can see it. It says 5 people are watching.
Oh, snap. Okay, good. Because on mine it says 0 all the time. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it knows you're a little bit shy when you're speaking to audiences, so it pretends there's no one there.
Oh my god, that is so sweet. Aww. Oh, and I see comments. Yeah. Hi, Lady Farron. Hi, Maga. Hi, Arthur. Thank you, Costa. Thank you, Cal. Yay. Oh, right. I have to go back to the other screen because I can't switch monitors. This setup is so intense. Okay. And let me set up the microphone. Oh, I should add everyone about this on Discord. Right? Yeah, let's do that. People love at everyone's.
Yep.
Listen, White has been doing it every time he's been doing a playthrough, so I'm allowed. So,
okay.
Hi everyone. Richie and I are streaming and talking about the Giants of Souls. Feel free to come by. And then link. Okay. I guess that's it. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everyone. Yeah, it's our week and a half birthday for Richie and me. It starts with March 29th in Australia and ends in
April 9th.
In Canada, because we're a little behind, so we're like trying to grasp as much birthday time and space as possible. Yay! My boyfriend took me out to all you can eat sushi today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, how sweet is that? And my parents gave me some money for my birthday, and they were like, get something from us. And so I went to Pandora and got a little charm for a Pandora bracelet.
Aww.
Yeah, it's the little pumpkin carriage, because I am a princess and royalty and a treasure.
It's true.
Thank you. Hi Chase, welcome to the stream. Chase, are you new? Oh, I have to post this on Twitter. Okay, let's just gonna Twitter this, and then we can start. Okay, Richie and I streaming and talking about Giants of Souls. Hashtag Bloodborne. Hashtag Dark Souls. Hashtag Sekiro. Hashtag Souls Bakiro. I started that one. Hashtag Bloodborne lore. Hashtag Dark Souls lore, I guess. Do Demon Souls have giants?
Why not?
Okay, hashtag Demon Souls. Hashtag Demon Souls lore. Does Kingsfield have giants?
Why not?
Hashtag King.
Just throw in some other games.
Kings. What has giants that I could throw in there?
You know how people keep showing up and leaving a dislike and leaving then?
Yeah.
I think this is why. Yeah.
No, I think it's because they come in and they're like, oh my god, we're so happy to hear Sin
Skyrim.
And then they hear you and they're like, dislike. We don't like that Richie fella. Skyrim, yeah, Skyrim has giant. Fallout. Okay.
Fallout.
Yeah, I only have 5 characters left. What can I put for 5 characters?
Halo.
Halo, okay. Perfect.
Okay.
There we go. Hashtag Halo.
That was from El Raro.
Thank you, Raro. And, tweet. Okay, well, now we're in business. Any percent.
But to what end?
Lol, I just realized something, Richie.
What?
If we record this like a podcast, it's like a live cast.
Uh-huh.
Does it mean that this is going to be like a podcast before I actually edit it into something listenable?
Isn't the idea behind these that you don't have to edit them?
Yeah, but I'm living a life of regret now. Because, I mean, you know how these go.
Well, the thing is, like, I just got up and you are tired. So we're both, like...
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I'll cut that out. I will travel back in time and cut my uncertainty out. We have to appear confident, and with it, people are here. Okay.
There's a very large man by that tree. He's kind of a giant.
Oh my god, do you know? I was about to be like, how do you know I'm here? Ruchi is a psychic. How does he know this is where I am? Okay. Okay. Oh man, I'm shy. I don't know how to start this.
Well, I think you've already started it.
Okay, I know it helps.
Mackenzie wants to know what area this is. This is Senpo Temple.
Okay. Yeah, Mackenzie. That's it. Okay, well, yes. No, okay, focus. Okay, we can do this. I know what to do. Give me 1 second.
Okay, send to yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
you gotta be the samurai.
Ay.
Mitten says happy birthday.
Thank you, Mittens. Oh. Oh, I have a story about that, but I can't say it live. I'm too nervous. So I will say it when we record something about Souls Bakiro.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a fun story.
Okay, we have 30 viewers.
Oh my god. Oh no. Do you know this is I don't know. This is so weird because like at least when we record podcast I can delude myself into thinking that nobody will see it, but now it's like people are there like staring. Judging.
Robert Daly, you have missed nothing so far.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
We just started and Sin is trying to get warmed up.
Yeah. Alright. Oh my god. Oh, you know what else? I'm supposed to have a meeting with like one person. My supervisor is going to schedule a meeting with someone about a project, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, meeting with one person, and there's like 30 people here now. So, oh my god. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll pretend like nobody's here.
Yeah.
Like this is a regular podcast. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you ready, Richie?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Richie.
Hey, Sin.
What are we doing here today?
Well, you thought it would be a good idea to talk about giants, and then it became a Sekiro live stream, a game that so far does not have any giants in it.
Well, actually, I didn't think it was a good idea. It's a thing we did on Patreon where people can suggest things and then vote on them. And this is the thing that got the most votes. Why are you laughing? Stop laughing, you're making me nervous.
I'm laughing because someone said you should play Red Dead Redemption, and then Mittens replied she did but quit after 10 minutes because she couldn't find his shit.
Oh, I buildings, 3 sheds, and I couldn't figure out which one to go to. And there was a horse thing too, so I was trying to like look for items in the thing where the horse was, but that wasn't a shed. Okay, thank you, Richie. Now let me do the sound effect. Okay, perfect. That was a perfect intro.
Yep.
Okay, so giants.
Giants.
Was
there a specific question, or was it just giants?
Okay, right. Let me go check. Pedro says this channel made me love this song.
Oh,
that's cool. Okay, so... Oh, I can tell you what the contenders were. Okay. So, there were a total of 5 suggestions. The first one was, make sense of embers and the various infusing systems, and what the hell is the Soul's transposition kiln? That got 6 votes. A discussion on giants within the Dark Souls trilogy got 11 votes. What's the deal with the amygdala got 8 votes. Another ROM discussion didn't get any votes. And explain the Soul's obsession for skeptical partners got 5 votes.
Right.
Yeah, so a discussion on giants within the Dark Souls trilogy.
Okay.
Okay. Usually, I would at least have some notes or something, or maybe who the giants were in each game, or maybe
the
something.
The giants change between 1 and 2.
Okay, so let's start with that.
Okay.
Okay, tell me, who are the giants in 1?
Are you gonna play the game, or are we just gonna talk while you stare at Kataro?
I don't know. I'll wing it. I guess I'll play, and you talk.
Okay. So, the giants in the first Dark Souls. I think the first time we run into them is Sen's Fortress.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I think.
Can you describe a Dark Souls giant from Dark Souls 1? Because all I think is the guy with the bow.
Okay, you know a person.
I know multiple people.
What if they were big? What if they were really big?
How big?
Oh, several stories. Picture that. You got yourself a giant.
Are they also shaped like several stories?
Well, they shape very strangely in Dark Souls 2.
Okay, but we're talking about Dark Souls 1. Okay, I'm just gonna Google this.
I like how you actually have Sekiro No Damage Run in the title.
You said it! You suggested it, and I'm like, okay.
Is this gonna be a no damage run because you just completely avoid combat?
Well, technically, that's a no damage run.
Stand behind a rock the whole time. Oh, look, I didn't take any damage.
Look, I'm in the grass. No damage. Oh my god, do you know what I just thought about? Okay, so I don't see that often here, but what's the grass that burns you? Like if you touch it, it gives you like burns.
Oh, the ones that like you get an allergy from it.
Is this okay? I'm gonna Google it, and apparently it's called nettles.
Oh, nettles, yeah.
Yeah, you know that?
Nettles, yeah.
Is it? Because I don't think I've encountered it in Canada much, but back in the Union, it's like it feels like it's every freaking where. Because I'd come home as a kid covered in like freaking bruises from this plant, and but now I haven't thought about this plant in a long time. But now as I entered this grass, I'm like, oh my god, what if it's nettles? In my head, I'm like, this is horrible.
That'd be a good risk-reward system where you had to hide in nettles.
Oh, God.
So no one could see you, but you were being burned constantly.
Oh, God, yeah. Because it kind of looks like a little bit like a fancy version.
Okay. giants.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh,
Okay.
and apparently you can make soup out of nettles. Apparently it's good
You
for
say
you.
you can make soup out of giants.
You know, it's like how in fairy tales or whatever, the giants cook you, but like in Soviet Russia,
You cook the giants.
yes.
You cook Koshai the Deathless.
What?
You cook Koshai the Deathless.
Yeah, exactly. um, there are monks that are supposed to
Mr. Cuddles
pass
is
here.
doing a hard mode playthrough of Sekiro.
How do you do a hard mode?
It has new game plots.
Oh, interesting.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, bon chance, mon ami. Oh yeah, I was googling giants because I
You don't need to Google.
No, Dark Souls 1 giant because I only.
All right.
It's part of the process. I can't ask you questions if I don't know what we're talking about.
But you asked the question of like what role they play. The role they play in Dark Souls 1 is not that interesting. That I really get
I
interested
asked
in
you
until
what they are. I asked you what they
They're
look
very
like.
big people.
And, okay, yeah, but okay, like I'm looking at the giant blacksmith. Is that in one?
Yes.
Does he also say I help anytime?
Yes.
Oh my god! I didn't know. Why didn't anyone tell me? I only knew the Dark Souls 3 one helps anytime. Oh my god, that is so cute. Okay, so is
If
that...
something's in Dark Souls 3, there's a good chance it was in Dark Souls 1. Spoilers.
Okay, so there's this giant that helps anytime. He's a blacksmith. And there's
Yes.
also, the Cthulhu-looking giant. Is he a giant? The
What?
blacksmith? The Cthulhu giant? The Cthulhu blacksmith giant? Where the...
Oh, the skeleton.
Yeah.
No, he's tiny. He's the opposite of a giant.
Okay, well, we're learning about giants and opposites. That's good. But he's pretty big, no?
He's got the proportions of like a dwarf.
Oh.
But I
guess,
think he's about as tall as you. Vamos.
Maybe my character was just really short, because I remember him being really big. Anyway, okay, and then there's another giant with the bow who shoots the other
Golf.
Midir, yeah. And so, are there any more giants in Dark Souls 1?
There's the ones that guard Sense Fortress.
I only remember snakes. Oh, the
Okay.
ones that take they're not guarding it, they're working there.
They're working as guards.
No, they're working as something else. They're like something about rocks and they're like putting them somewhere. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, they're not,
No, one of them opens the door to let you in.
So, he's not a very good guard.
It's like the most important character in the whole game, because if he wasn't there, the game wouldn't happen.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like hunting them for like 30 minutes, Richie.
I like how you're sneaking behind someone by walking in front of the person behind them.
Yeah, and then I'm blaming you because I don't know why. But I did
I
this.
see you've discovered firecrackers.
Yeah, I did. I did this before very effectively, where nobody detected me my entire way up to the temple.
Yeah. Anyway, giants.
Okay.
Go focus.
Okay. So
Okay.
the giants in Dark Souls 1 are
Yes.
the giant blacksmith, the giant who shoots Midir, and the giant.
No. Goth
Yeah.
shoots
Yeah.
Calamite.
That's what I mean, the other Midir, not
Okay,
the real
yeah,
Midir.
Yeah, the worst Medea.
Yeah, and then the giants who are working, not guarding, working at the fortress.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any more giants at Dark Souls 1, anyone?
There's the... Well, the confusing thing is there's the giant set, which you get in, Anor Londo.
Wait, can you wear it?
Yes.
No, okay, well, wait a minute now. You gave me crap because I said that the other blacksmith was a giant, and you said no, he's too small to be a giant, but then I can wear a giant set, so clearly giants can be my size.
Yeah, it shrinks down. Like, it's the set that's worn by, you know those enormous gold people in Anor Londo?
Yeah.
They have like the huge shields. It's that set.
Wait, are they giants as well?
I don't quite understand how it works because they're like, this is the giant set. It's too heavy for people to wear without stamina loss. So like you lose stamina when you're wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they're not as big as the giants in Sens, and when you beat Gwendolyn,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of things disappear from Anor Londo because they were illusions; they weren't really there. And
Right.
the giant sentinels disappear, which kind of implies that like they weren't actually real to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite get what they are. But like the giants did work with the gods. And Loki goes into detail about it.
Yeah, but I don't think we can talk about it because he's still working on his project.
Yeah, he's still working on his project. But like, the giants worked with the gods. Arash Septango just points out the giant skeletons. Yeah, the Tomb of the Giants area underneath Firelink. Like, presumably that is literally a tomb for giants. There's just giant skeletons and giant coffins everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a reference to like a war between giants and anyone else. I think they just like just naturally where they were buried when they died.
Mm-hmm.
But the giants are working for the gods, basically, in Dark Souls 1. So I guess like because the gods do not get on very well with humans, they worked with giants instead. Because giants are not going to suddenly turn into snakes or beetles or anything that's going to overthrow them.
Yeah, but also giants are better at working than humans. Like a tiny human can't lift a giant rock. So like if you need to build a fortress, you'd use a giant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think they use giants to build Anor Londo?
Yeah, because they didn't have like cranes and stuff, right?
That's true. That's true.
And
like one of Gwyn's 4 knights was a giant as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawkeye Goff. So like you could kind of think maybe they were enslaved, but I don't think they were because a lot of them seem to be just like perfectly fine with it and like quite loyal.
Mm-hmm. I think in Dark Souls 1 it seems like they were very like they were chill. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they would chill.
And in my, I wanted to make a lore video on like the Nameless King.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did some research about this a while back. I just don't remember most of what I googled and Wikipedia, which is most of my research.
Good.
But like, yeah, it seemed like the giants were better off than like in Dark Souls 3, for example. I don't remember stumbling.
They get worse.
Yeah, no, like I don't remember. You know, in Dark Souls 3, when you go to like the Eldritch area, they're like chained giants or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that in Dark Souls 1.
Manel just asked, can we consider the gods giants because they're also really big? I don't. No, I think what they're getting at is like giants are a specific like race or like tribe. It's not necessarily to do with the size. Sorry, I'm kind of mucusy.
That's okay. But which gods are really big though?
Well, like Nameless King is pretty big.
Is he though?
He's pretty big.
Oh my god, I'm having such a deja vu right now, Richie. Have we talked about this yesterday?
We didn't talk yesterday.
We talked yesterday, we didn't record. Or was it before yesterday?
I'm pretty sure we didn't talk yesterday.
Okay, well, yesterday, before yesterday, what's the difference? Australia, Canada, our time is convoluted anyway. We talked at some point, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned the same exact thing, and I'm having flashbacks.
I think this may have been a Thumerian discussion.
We haven't talked about the Marians in months.
No, because what I was saying was that in Souls games and also in Sekiro, you'll notice that like humans that you fight, they tend to be like a head or 2 heads taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
So just NPCs in these games will just like be extremely large.
Right.
And that's because, like, when you're fighting them from this third-person angle, it's easier to keep track of them if they're bigger than the main character is, because you don't obscure them on the screen.
So, do you think the Nameless King is just big because of that, or is he supposed
to be pretty big though? Like,
but they're not giant big. I feel like I only fought one Yorm. I didn't. Gwyn is not a Yorm. Gwendolyn is not a Yorm.
Jester just points out Guinevere is pretty big.
Yeah, but that's an illusion. So we don't know what she looks like.
But there's like statues of her on the
Okay, but there are statues. You know what? Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a statue of myself that's as big as a giant. Does it mean I'm big?
Well, she's got a gigantic couch.
Okay, well, you know what? I want a gigantic beanbag. Like, that would be my dream in life.
I think that's you're right, because if Guinevere was as big as she is when you meet her, she wouldn't have been able to fit through the door.
Yeah, it's the Yorm situation again.
Unless it was built around her.
Yeah, just sits on the couch as they build.
RDC points out that in Analondo there are giant stairs and a giant elevator for giants, so the gods probably were very big.
Big, but I don't think they were giant big. I don't think Guinevere is like a representation of the gods. I think it's an illusion.
Okay. Well, but when you fight Gwyn, he's much bigger than a person.
When you fight Gwyn, did I fight Gwyn, Richie?
Oh, that's right, you didn't. You haven't actually got that far
I'm
yet.
trying to remember from memory of walkthroughs. Let me look at him again.
Oh my god.
Gwyn fight.
Priscilla is pretty big.
Okay, but she's also a dragon. So how do you know which part is... Okay, he's barely bigger than you. He's like...
Yeah, but he's bigger than a person.
No! Okay, well, you know what? Like, sometimes when I walk around in the world, everybody's bigger than me because I'm not the tallest. So, like, if we meet, you probably... Okay, like, I'd be like, maybe it wouldn't be like that, like Gwyn and this person that's fighting him, but you'd still be a head or two taller than me. Like, what, are you a god? What, are you a giant? No. So
would like to point out that Artorias is pretty big.
Okay, but Artorias consumed by the abyss. Also, he's not a god.
Wants to know if Logan's hat is a giant.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Batchimus, for making some sense, bringing some logic into the stream.
Eden suggests that maybe the gods are like spiders and the females are bigger than the males.
Oh, that would be cool. Actually, I like that. Okay,
Mitten
Eden
says that Gwen is 3 Richards tall. I'm now unit of measurement.
Gwen is 3 Richards tall.
Kernsbeck wants to know what the deal is. Priscilla a giant and a dragon?
She could
be. You've created this horrible mess now by saying that Priscilla is like...
No,
the gods are not giant sized.
No, they're not. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do this. I'm sorry, everyone. We're going to do this the way we do it as if nobody's here, where I'm going to school Richie. Let's go to Dark Souls 1 Wikia.
Okay.
Okay, Dark Souls Wiki. Okay.
People are enjoying this look behind the scenes at what recordings it's like.
And now, okay, let's go to bosses. Where are the bosses? Is Wikia testing me? General information, secrets. Okay, Richie, what are you doing? Help me find bosses or characters or the gods. Like, I need to see them and show you how wrong you are about everything. Gesture, builds, no. General, Dark Souls, TLC, secrets, control, covenant, humanity, FAQ, no. What is this Wikia? Mev should be in charge of all the wikis in the world. She makes everything so good.
But then she would die.
Oh, enemies. Okay, enemies, bosses. Hollow skeleton demon. Oh, giants. Oh my god, they have a helpful giant section. Okay, they say Great Stone Knight, giant, infested barbarian, Infested Barbarian, Crystal Golem, Sentinel, Royal Sentinel. I feel like this wiki got an upgrade since the last time I've been here. Okay, so... Okay, this is good. But, where are the gods? Do they have a gods section? Hollows, enemies. What's Aota enemies?
That's Horus of the Abyss.
Okay, thank you. Skeletons, demons, other. Okay, but where are the bosses? Where are the bosses?
So I'm looking at the giant set. It says made for the giant sentinels of Anor Londo, but giant is written with a lowercase g. So I'm wondering if the idea is that it's like the sentinels of Anor Londo are giant, but are not giants. The race, they're just very, very big.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. But they are sold by the giant blacksmith, who is a giant.
They're what? Sorry.
It's sold by the giant blacksmith, who is a giant.
Somebody
I think it's safe to say that the sentinels in Anor Londo might just be really big.
Yeah, they work out.
Yeah.
I saw bosses 3 seconds ago, and somebody said that maybe that set is made for a baby giant.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Where are the bosses? I just saw them 3 seconds ago. Okay, here it is, bosses. Okay, so Asylum Demon is demon, not giant. Bell Gargoyle is gargoyle. Carpa Demon is demon. Ceaseless Discharge. Centipede Demon.
Ceaseless Discharge is the size of a giant.
Yeah, but
if not gianter.
We're not talking about Izalith. They're a whole other can of worms. We're trying to focus, Richie. If not gianter, lol. Okay, so Crossbreed Priscilla, Dark Sun Gwendolyn. So Crossbreed Priscilla clearly has some dragon features, so I don't think we should make her part of this discussion, because we don't know which features are dragon and which features are giant, or which features are gods, or which features are not gods, or so we'll keep her out. Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Okay,
oh,
also...
Michael, this is outside the purview of the thesis. So well, we don't need to answer that question.
Well, also, Dark Sun Gwendolyn doesn't really qualify, because he's also, like, he has snake legs, and we're not sure of his origin, so he could be something else. The Four Kings. Oh, the Four Kings.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, but are they gods? We don't know. So
they're not.
They're not. Okay, so but we're looking if gods are giants. The question is, are gods giants? So that's why
they're very big.
Okay. Well, what?
It's not the same thing as being a giant.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. But then you were like, "Oh, they're giants."
No. What?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my. Woo! Richard. Oh my God. Why am I doing this if you agree with me?
I think you got confused when I was talking about the giant sentinels in Anor Londo and where the giants worked with the gods.
I don't know, but okay, all I'm gonna say is gods are not necessarily the species of giants. Because they're not giant like the giants. And even the biggest of them, Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, Lord of Sunlight, Lord of Sun, Lord of everything, favorite husband though, he's still pretty small. Like, he's not a giant. He's just a couple of heads taller than the hero, so...
Yeah.
He's probably not even Nito's size. He's smaller than Ornstein. Or Smoog, whichever one is bigger.
Smoog.
Smoog. Because that's how you... Because it's spelled S-O-U-G-H, right?
Yeah.
But in French, O-U is spelled as U, and the H, we usually don't pronounce it. So it's Smoog. So if you're like French and you have an accent, instead of saying like a hat, you'd be like an at, or instead of saying hungry, you'd be like angry.
Or if you were Dick Van Dyke.
What?
In Mary Poppins.
What?
In Mary Poppins, when Dick Van Dyke has that awful Cockney accent.
I don't know.
Hello, how are you today?
I haven't seen that Mary Poppins. I only saw the Soviet Mary Poppins.
Well, Mike, hang on, this is more interesting than giants. What was Soviet Mary Poppins?
Like a Russian version of Mary Poppins, right?
I had no idea this existed.
Yeah, I didn't just... Let me just Google this. This is not my...
This is more interesting than anything in Dark Souls. What the fuck is Soviet Mary Poppins?
she's not. It's just a Russian Mary Poppins movie. I remember watching it. There's a lot of songs, dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Mary Poppins was pretty cute. We could do a podcast on that.
Oh, is it called Mary Poppins Goodbye?
Yeah.
Yeah. A 2-part musical miniseries from 1983.
Yeah.
Loosely based on Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of it. We should watch it. It should be our It Can't Be Helped. Next It Can't Be Helped.
We should just do a series on Soviet cinema.
We should. I know. Do you know The Gentleman of Luck?
No.
You don't know? You don't remember it?
No.
You don't remember that,
No.
Richie? Oh my god.
No.
You're the best Soviet. You're supposed to know it. It's really funny. It's like one of those really funny, weird, sad movies that
Okay.
like a Russian comedy. Anyway. Yeah, what were we saying?
Anyway, I guess giants.
Yeah. Now I have like Soviet music in my head from like old movies. Okay, so gods are not giants. Gods are gods, giants are giants.
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, and the Wikipedia gave us a list of giants. And we forgot about giant golems, but we're not talking about them. They're crystal, they're from Seath, they're whatever,
Okay,
doesn't matter.
Can I just say something?
Maybe. Depends on what you're about to say.
I think the wiki is saying giant enemies to just mean large, because crystal golems and the infested barbarians are not giants.
No. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Sentinels, I think they might just be like on steroids or something. I don't think they're... But then again... Okay, wait a minute, Richie, I know how to solve this. We need to take a picture of the Sentinel and take a picture of like one of the giants, either the blacksmith or the bow giant, and like superimpose them. And then see if they're like, you know, like their features align. What do you think?
No!
I think that's a good idea. Because I
thought this was going to take 5 minutes, because all the giants are in Dark Souls 1 is there's very, very big people who are not human who work with the gods. That's all they do. For them, presumably there was some kind of war, or maybe they just died.
Okay.
And it's buried under Filing Shrine.
Okay.
Like, the giants don't get interesting until Dark Souls 2.
Okay, you know what? Let's skip to Dark Souls 2 then. Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
Okay, I have an idea. We can salvage this. So this is usually in a podcast where I get a brilliant idea on how to salvage everything. I am the podcast savior. Okay. So how about we then just talk about Dark Souls 2 giants? Okay, so we're gonna mention, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce this as Dark Souls 2 giants, and then you're gonna, for 50 seconds, you're gonna talk about Dark Souls 1 giants, and then lead into Dark Souls 2 giants, okay?
So we're just doing it over.
Yeah. As per usual. As per real podcast life. That's what usually happens.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
So that the dwindling number of viewers can experience this.
Yeah.
Experience a better version than the one they just sat through.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
Tell me what we're doing here today.
This is Giants Take 2.
Yay! And you're gonna talk about giants from Dark Souls 2.
Yes.
Excellent! Okay, now let me do the sound effect. I really like this sound effect. It's like I'm torching you live. can you briefly tell me about the giants in Dark Souls 1?
In the game Dark Souls 1, originally released as simply Dark Souls, there is I guess we would call them a tribe or a species or something of like, they're just called giants. They're like people, but they're very big. They're not humans. And they work with the gods. And like, there's Hawkeye Goth, who is one of Gwyn's knights. There is a blacksmith who is a giant who works at Anor Londo. There are giants guarding Sen's Fortress, and underneath Firelink Shrine, which is where, like, it's like a holy sacred place, there are a whole lot of giant skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. They're just like, they work with the gods.
Okay. Thank you, Richie.
It's not clear if they were enslaved or not, but if they were, then, like, it was probably a long time ago, and they seem okay with it now from what I've seen. Because they seem very loyal, even when the gods aren't around, they still serve them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Richie.
Yeah, see, so... that did not involve a 20-minute detour.
And you also mentioned that the giants in Dark Souls 2 are much more interesting.
Yes.
Tell me how.
I'm a little worried about where this is going to go.
Oh no, why?
On the basis of what happened last time, when it took us extremely long time to do that 50-second synopsis.
Well, I feel like maybe people now have a better understanding of what I go through when I edit. But also,
they also have a better understanding of what I go through.
Oh, let's make it all about Richie. Look at me, I'm Richie, I have to talk, this is so hard. You have to talk, you go home, you go to sleep, you're fine. But usually what happens is that I have like 4 hours of freaking conversation, and not all of it is like, let's restart. Sometimes it's like, okay, we have to keep going because some parts were good. So I have to go through 4 hours of conversation, try to pick out the best stuff and make it into a 2-hour conversation or 1-hour conversation, and it takes ages, because think about it, if it's 4 hours and you go through it 5 times only, that's like 20 hours right there. I have a full-time job. I have a life, Richie. So how is this about you?
I'm going to talk about the giants in Dark Souls 2 now.
Okay, yes, go.
Okay. In Dark Souls 2, the giants play an important role in the story.
Go on.
There's King Vendrick, and he gets interested in overcoming the undead curse. So he declares war on the giants, and he travels across the sea, and when he goes over the sea, he meets the giants, and in Dark Souls 2 Vanilla, it's like, he stole something from the giants, but what? And then in Scholar of the First Sin, they're like, oh, he actually just kidnapped giants.
Oh.
So when the giants attack Drang Lake, they're attacking it because he's like basically stolen, kidnapped, imprisoned a bunch of giants, and they're like going back to get them.
That's not... Really? That's what happened?
Yeah.
I kind of expected something more.
Also, Chad has just started the Free Richard hashtag.
Oh my god. The Defend Richie Covenant is going full force.
Okay, and you find the giants in Dark Souls 2 in Aldia's Keep. There's a whole lot of giants that are like... Scholar, I think, slightly alters the set piece, but basically there's a ton of dead giant corpses in Aldia's Keep that look like they are being studied. It's kind of like Bergenworth.
Right.
There's all these like giants laid out over like a pit, and there's Aldia's I think they call them dragon cultists, which is a weird choice of name. The dragon cultists are basically scientists. They're like studying the giants.
Okay.
And you see, like, there's one of the dragon cultists is in there, and he's like cutting up the giant, like dissecting it.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. So, Aldia and Vendrick were researching giants.
Wait, why?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Okay, and this is something that, like, they don't come out and say it, and I think it may be a function of the game having two directors. That, like, we're going off, like, one person's visual ideas and one person's story ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But the giants look a lot like the golems that you run into later on.
Oh.
The way that they have this, like, squat body and no head. The head is, like, kind of... And they have these, like, holes in their chest. And what happens with the golems is, as you fight them, they... Oh, you just got destroyed by that monk. It looks as like... The way it's explained is that Vendrick kidnapped the giants, and then at some point after that, I think he makes the golems. The timeline is massively confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But the implication is that the golems in Dark Souls 2 are somehow derived from giants. That they were, like, looking at giants and creating, like, their own giant facsimiles. And that's what the golems are. And because Dark Souls 2 is all about the soul in a way the other ones aren't, one of the things that you notice about the golems is when you encounter them in the run-up to Drainlake Castle, is that they'll be static, and then as you kill stuff around them, the souls from those dead enemies go, oh, I never found this area. I didn't realize you'd go up into here.
Yeah, because they're casual, unlike me, who's a professional.
I just vaulted over it.
Wait, you can vault over it? Oh, damn!
Oh no, I have been here. I just remembered all the stupid... Oh no, I haven't been here. There's a lot of these little temples.
Make up your mind, Richie.
Do you enjoy fighting the crickets?
I love it, because they're like...
They take one hit.
Yeah, and they don't hurt your feelings like Richard Pilbeam, who's the bully of 2019.
Okay, I'll give you a little tip for later on in this area.
Yeah.
There's a fence with some statues of Buddha behind it, and if you stand behind the fence, the enemies, for some reason, their pathfinding means they can't cross the fence. So you can just stand on the other side of the fence and poke the sword through, and they can't do anything to you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I found that out while hiding like a coward.
Oh. So just like real life, huh?
Yeah.
Take that, Richard.
Yeah. Owned. So anyway.
Yeah.
The giants look to be the basis of the golems in 2.
Okay.
And then also in 2, there's a bunch of set pieces. They're like in Drainlake Castle, and they bring it back in Crown of the Ivory King.
Excuse me.
Oh, Dalek Sex just donated you £5.
Oh, thank you, Dalek.
And he wants to know if we're doing a video on Beast Plague traveling up the right leg. I think we should, because I have things to say about that.
Oh, and he said, Dalek here, just popped in to leave you a... Oh, it disappeared. Oh, no. Oh, I can pause. Okay.
Just popped in to leave you a birthday present. When are you going to do a video on Beast Plague traveling up the right leg?
Oh, damn. Thank you, Dalek.
We will, because I've got stuff to say about that.
Yeah, Dalek is the person we will one day do a podcast with on... I forget the topic, but I don't have time to play that game. So it will be in a while. But yeah, no, because it's a game that I haven't played, and you know how life is right now. So...
Alright.
Oh, thank you, Petro. Yeah, what were you saying?
So, there's a bunch of, like, set pieces where there are... Oh, Snatcher and Police Notes, okay. Yeah. Where there will be inactive golems. And what you have to do is defeat enemies that are nearby, and then their souls go into the golems, and the golems come to life. So it's kind of suggesting that, like, what the golems are is it's a body without a soul. And if you follow what's going on with Vendrick figures out how to separate his soul from his body.
What?
So something to...
No way.
How much of Dark Souls 2 have you actually played?
Most of it, but I just never got to Vendrick, I think. I got to the castle. I got to the castle, and then a lady in a throne told me to kill a guy. And then I wandered...
That's like halfway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I also went to the cold city. And then an invisible creature killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Vendrick figures out a way to separate his soul from his body. Because, like, you fight Vendrick's body, it doesn't have a soul. And then later on you can find Vendrick's soul that he, like, removed.
Yeah.
And Vendrick's whole thing is that he's trying to figure out a way to overcome the curse.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like through Vendrick and Aldia's experiments, they figured out, okay, you got to do something like remove the soul from the body, or like a body without a soul, because, like, the soul is what is giving people reason, and then when that disappears, that's what makes them become hollow.
Mm-hmm.
So part of his, like, study into this was I think basically what it's getting at is that, like, something about giants is like a body with no soul. And he became fascinated with the idea that if something that is just like a physical shell with no soul exists, then I can study this and try to figure out, you know, if something without a soul exists, could we exist without a soul? Could I remove my soul? Could I avoid undeath this way? Could I avoid hollowing this way?
Oh. This sounds a little bit like Nier.
Yeah, actually it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, kidnapping and experimenting on giants was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is no one ever comes out and says it. It's just in the design. It's just in, like, finding all these giants laid out in all these keep being experimented on, and it's like the way that the giants... Did you go? I guess you didn't go into any giant memories, did you? Because you haven't beaten...
No.
No. If you go into the giant memories, there are giants that look exactly like the golems.
Okay.
These, like, hunched over guys with, like, no head. And it's very, very... Like, again, it's just kind of in the design, but it is there that, like, the golems came from researching giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much more interesting than Dark Souls 1. I feel like we should do a legit podcast on this.
I think we just kind of covered it all.
Yeah, but I'm not going to release this to the general public.
Are you ever going to finish Dark Souls 2?
Are you ever going to finish Dark Souls 2? Are you ever going to beat the 4K?
It's a legitimate question.
Really,
if you want to do a podcast on it, you should have finished it.
Look at me, I'm going to call him a Snitcher Bully Beam. That's your name.
Ninja Sticks just beat Owl. Do I think the giants are owls or bears? That's a good question. There are no owl bears in the Soul series. It's very disappointing.
Simply okay, Bully. I know Bully. He's bullying me. Go on. Yeah.
Racked Brain is saying that you find giant souls in Dark Souls 2, and that implies they do have souls. And, like, that's true, but their relationship to souls seems to be different. Like, there's something about giants that makes them different. Like, I guess they also don't have humanity. Because they're not human. But there's something about giants that, like, made them a good basis for, like, whatever Aldia was doing. And I think it may be something to do with them being, like, a shell, almost. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I think that's probably from, the old, like, the Shibuya version before Tanimura took over. Because we know, like, Tanimura was basically tasked with building something based on Shibuya's assets. So the aesthetics of the giants probably comes from Shibuya. But then they do continue the like soul-powered golems and things into the DLC. So I think he is trying to create a through line there. Zen is asking if I think giants are related to archtrees and archdragons. I think they're pre-human. I think is the idea. Like Loki's gone into this on things we've recorded with him, but he makes a distinction between like there's humans and there's gods, and then there's sort of everything in between them, which he's calling them medials, as in like in between.
I feel like we should have a podcast with Loki about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the way that you find like giant skeletons in Tomb of the Giants, you also find giant skeletons in Ash Lake. So I think it's hinting at Zen's calling them primal humans. It's I think a little bit like that. That like the presence of giant skeletons in Ash Lake, where there's like dragons and hydras and stuff, that suggests that like the giants, I guess, were fighting against the dragons. Like what happened? This is the problem with the whole furtive pygmy thing.
Yeah.
Is that the way it's written in English, it makes it sound like there's a singular furtive pygmy. There's like one furtive pygmy finds the dark soul, and that's the birth of humans. But it's more like, and like Loki's gone into this again. It's more like, the fourth soul was found by like the insignificant small people. So the idea is that humans existed in the form of like hollows that were shuffling around, and then they found the dark soul and they became humans. So I guess hypothetically, like giants could have found like if they had found the dark soul, then like the giants would have been like the race that threatened the gods.
That's cool. That's interesting. So the guy just...
Alex wants to know when Lance, Peeve, and Veselikov are going to form the Australian Dark Souls YouTube Sentai team. There's Australia's very, very like represented. It's Australia and the Midwest. I think it's because they're both like large empty spaces with not much going on, so everyone just stays inside playing Souls all day. Uthmathar says the giants in Dark Souls 2 are kind of taken from Kingsfield, the ancient city. I have not actually played Ancient City that much. I have it. I only really know the first Kingsfield.
And we'll do a podcast on that soon.
Like I have Ancient City like on disc next to me, so we could play that. I could stream that to your channel.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I know Autumn is a fan of that. They were posting their like top 10 games of all time.
Oh, nice.
That was on there. Lyrics saying, are giants primal humans touched by the gods? I know, I guess it's just like all these things existed and humans became important because humans grabbed the dark soul. And yeah, like the giants in Dark Souls 2, they're not like enslaved like the giants in Dark Souls 1 are, and they have a king and everything. Like there's a giant king and they have a fleet and they're able to like travel over the seas and everything. And also the giants in 2 like famously look nothing like the giants in 1. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The giants in 2 turn into trees when they die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is not a thing that they touch on in 1. They kind of touch on it in 3. But I like the idea that, like, giants are very sort of stone-like. If you look at them, they have this, like, rocky skin. And I like the idea that they're these sort of primal things that, like, they may have, like, come from trees to begin with, and now they're just going back into the cycle of life.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Also, FYI, I don't think it's possible to kill these centipede people. They just keep coming back.
He's a centipede person?
Oh, he's got crickets. There's ones later on that have centipedes.
Oh, thanks for spoiling the game.
Well, I believe the plot point about corrupted blood being filled with centipedes may have been done in another FromSoft game.
Really? Like what?
I can't remember.
Okay, do you want to tell us anything about the giants in Dark Souls 3?
Well, Dark Souls 3 seems like an attempt to dovetail 1 and 2 together into something that makes slightly more, like, coherent sense. Because, like, I think we've talked about this a few times when discussing our favorite character, Yorm.
Yorm!
But
yes.
like, when Dark Souls 3 was announced and it showed Yorm and he had that, like, chainmail hood on.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, he's a Dark Souls 2 giant because you can't see his face because he's got the hood on.
Uh-huh.
And then I think they were saying with what they were trying to do with that is to say, okay, the giants in Dark Souls 2 and the giants in Dark Souls 1 are the same giants. And the reason they look different in 2 and they have these weird, like, people are calling them butt faces. They just have like a hole for a face.
Mm-hmm.
The reason they have that is because that's just armor that they're wearing that makes them look like that. And there's a cut Yorm set that it's still in the game, you just can't access it, but you can mod it back in if you have the PC version.
Okay.
It just basically says that. It's like, if you wear this armor, you look like a Dark Souls 2 giant, and the reason you do it, then, like, that's why they look the same. So that it's trying to dovetail and say, no, they weren't two different kinds of giant, they were all the same giant. They just had weird hats on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in 2, with Yorm, they talk about Yorm as the descendant of an ancient conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
Who, that might be a reference to Dark Souls 2, with the giants conquering Drangleic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though.
I think most people playing Dark Souls 3 only will think it's a reference to Volnir.
Really?
Because Volnir is a conqueror as well. And he's pretty big.
Yeah, but he's also just like a skeleton.
And?
Well, he probably didn't look like that originally.
Well.
And he doesn't have legs.
But that's him in the Abyss. Like, that's not...
Yeah, but that might also be why he's so big.
What? Because he doesn't have legs?
Yeah.
What?
He's just a front half of a person.
Yeah, but then you have a... I don't understand where you're going with this, Richie. What are you saying? He can't be a giant because he has no legs?
No, because you're saying, like, Volnir is big, so he's a giant. And I'm saying, like, he... And then I say he doesn't have legs, and you said that's because he's in the Abyss. And I'm like, well, maybe he's giant because he's in the Abyss. You're fighting, like, the monster version of
yeah. Yeah, duh. Yeah, that's possible, too.
Yeah. And also, like, his goblet is human-sized.
Well, you know what? Okay, you know what?
It could have been, like, a shot glass. Like, he's just picking it up with, like, between his 2 fingers.
Yeah. But also, you know how, never mind, yeah.
Okay, Mothmedis is bringing up that there's a dead giant near the Dark Souls 2 giant boss that, like, you can see the face. You can, that happens, it's not scripted. What happens is, in that fight there's fireballs being thrown at you, and if a giant dies in a specific way to the fireball, it gets this, like, blackened texture that for some reason you can see the face. And they have these weird, like... I don't know how to describe them. They kind of, like, they don't have a nose and they have a giant, like, shark mouth. With, like, all of these teeth in it. But I don't know if, like, that's what they were going for, or if that's just a mistake, because it's like, incredibly random. And I think someone actually said that, like, that was just because that's like a leftover texture that they forgot to delete or something. But yeah, like Dark Souls 2 is pretty much saying that the giants in that are a completely different species, and then 3 is like, no, they're the same.
Oh.
Yeah. So then in 3, the giants are, there's obviously Yorm. Then there's a bunch of dead giants in Anolondo. And then there are the giants in Cathedral of the Deep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the giant archer. Yeah, Mike Shivak is saying, is there a giant versus Drain Lake war in Dark Souls 2? Before Dark Souls 2. Yeah. It's different, but also it's like, the idea behind Dark Souls 2 is it's set, like, possibly thousands of years after Dark Souls 1, maybe hundreds, we don't know. But, like, it's been a while, so the events of 1 are, like, ancient history at that point. So, like, it's a different world in the sense that, like, medieval Europe is a different world to, like, Europe today, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, in 3, there's Yorm, who, like, they talk about, the giants attack the profaned capital, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, the RDC just points out Dark Souls 3 treats Dark Souls 1 like it happened yesterday. Yes. It is a mess. It almost treats Dark Souls 2 like... It almost treats like Dark Souls 1 had 2 endings, one was Dark Souls 2 and one was Dark Souls 3, and now they're just converging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, Dreadlum Alias asks if Yorm's dad was in Dark Souls 3, would he have been named Yerm? What do you think?
Why?
What do you think Yorm's dad is called?
I think Yorm just called him Dad.
Red Toot Guy is asking, have you played Sekiro?
Hey, Red Tooth Guy. Well, no. What is that?
Sin is playing Sekiro right now.
Ah, thanks for the...
This is actually her. This isn't footage of Lobos.
Oh, thanks for the donation, bro. We're gonna get so many Toblerones. Does Australia have Toblerones?
Yeah, but we call them Toblerones.
Toblerone.
You call them Tablerones for some reason.
Tablerones, Toblerone. I don't know why I call them Toblerone. That's what I call them, Toblerones. It just feels more natural. Toblerones. I'm trying to get there. Toblerone.
I have played, I think, about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through Sekiro. I put it down for a while because I had other stuff to do. I found it
Don't be silly, you have nothing to do.
I found it gets repetitive, but then from what I've seen, toward the end of the game, they start bringing new stuff in. But the amount of recycled set pieces is sort of beginning to grate on me. Like, I mean, when it started off, I was like, oh, it's whether I'm interested or not is going to hinge on how much they lean into the supernatural stuff. And they do, but they mostly lean into it by recycling things from Bloodborne. So, yeah, I'm like, it's fine. I'm gonna wait till I finish it before I have, like, a proper opinion, but... I feel like, like most games, I feel like it should be shorter. Okay.
Ending. Oh, hi, Colin. Thank you for the.
Hi, Colin.
Oh, and it's a little cat face. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh.
Uthmathar asks if Toblerones have a cute pet name in Australia. They do not.
Oh, that's weird. You guys have a name for everything.
IDC is stuck on the bull boss.
Oh, okay. The way I beat the bull boss, what worked for me is I lured him into the corner. On the like right corner, like a little square corner, and then I just fought him there, and it helped me a lot to just like dodge and walk around him.
Yeah, I have less trouble with the bosses than I do on the just the regular elite enemy encounters.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because like the bosses tend to have some weird gimmick, like the cow. But then when it's just a dude with a sword, I'm terrible.
Hi, Lensky!
The only mini boss I was able to beat really quickly was the spamming centipede guys. Not here, the long arm centipede characters.
Oh, and you
because they just spam. This guy.
Yeah, you gave them a good sound effect.
So instead of having to worry about specific timing, you just spam back and you block that way. Hi, Lensky. Yeah, the purple ninja is the thing is, they kept saying like in Sekiro you will kill ingeniously, and like really, you just sort of deflect at the right time and spam firecrackers.
Well, did you see how ingeniously I killed the cockroaches?
Yep.
Thank you. Do you have anything else to say about the giant?
Yeah, we were getting there.
We were getting there.
Okay, so there's two kind of strains in Dark Souls 3 of the giants. There's like Yorm's ancestors conquer the profaned capital, and then that's its own story where like they put the giants in a prison, they build Irithyll dungeon around a giant, and then like they so Yorm's ancestors conquer the profaned capital, then they're overthrown, and then they build Irithyll dungeon as like a prison for giants. And you can see that like that giant, when you encounter him in Irithyll dungeon, he is the same like Dark Souls 1 giant thing. He's like a big stone looking guy with the same mask and everything. So presumably, even though Yorm looks different, even though Yorm just looks more like a large person than a Dark Souls 1 giant, he is presumably like, he's a Dark Souls 1 giant. He just wears different armor that makes him look strange. Then there's the other giant thing, which is that it's part of the Aldrich and Sullivan plotline. Like, it looks like when Aldrich went back to Anor Londo, he killed all the giants who were guarding Anor Londo. Because when you go after Sullivan, you find like a ton of there's like these giant corpses, and then as you run through, some of them will get up again. And this is again like, I think this is broken because it looks like it's something is supposed to happen. They get up, they chase you, but they're positioned as though they were killed by the Aldrich Faithful throwing fireballs at them. And this is the thing. If you aggro them so they get up, then you run away, so they lose track of you. They walk back there and they stand facing the Aldrich Faithful, like they're supposed to be fighting each other. Like they look at each other, but they don't actually do anything. So that's... Yeah, anyway, the Aldrich Faithful came to Anor Londo and killed off the giants, including, sadly, the giant blacksmith. And then you also run into a bunch of them in the Cathedral of Bday, where Aldrich is supposed to have been before he woke up. And outside that, there's also the giant with the bow, who he's firing at the cathedral. So the impression I get from that is supposed to be that when Aldrich went to Anor Londo and took it over, they enslaved the giants. And they brought the giants back to the cathedral to use as slaves. And then the one in the tower was like, I have any time. He escaped. And somehow, I don't know how he got to that tower. I guess he climbed the outside of it like King Kong. He is now, like, shooting the people who are leaving the cathedral.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much the whole giant thing.
We could do another podcast on this at some point.
I guess, like,
That's
do you
more
want to
coherent.
do you want to do the digest version now that there's more people here?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so um
Wait,
giants are
Richie,
just like
wait.
what?
Wait.
Okay.
I
I'm
know
queuing up
what
the
we'll do.
music.
Okay, so I
Okay.
will put the full link to the stream on Patreon.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna say now is I'll just cut from here till like whenever, and then that's gonna be on like the YouTube channel public.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Okay, you ready? 3. Everybody,
2.
places. Yeah. 1.
Yep. Go.
No, wait, you're not supposed to say go. The music is supposed to start. Go for about 2 seconds and then we speak.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
Tell us what we're doing here today.
We just spent 90 minutes talking about giants.
Awesome.
And yeah, and now we're going to say it quickly.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Just start now, or
I accidentally did a double thing.
that's
So it's
fair.
like a double sound effect. Whoa. Pretty trippy. I didn't do a proper fade out with the music either, but it's okay. It's live. It's like it's not going to be perfect. We need more practice, you know?
Snack Covenant live and unplugged.
Okay, so Richie, tell us quickly about the history of giants in Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 and how they relate to one another.
Okay, so what we established in the previous 90 minutes is that the giants, like, they predate the humans and everything. Like, they're like a primal thing that was hanging around. They were there during the war, and we were talking about, like, the beginning of Dark Souls 1. The insignificant small people are the ones who find the Dark Soul, so it's like the giants didn't find a soul of their own. And I guess as a result, like, the gods are fine working with them because they're not like a threat. They're not going to suddenly turn into the Fourth Lord. So the giants work with the gods. Humans were there during the war. Yeah. The idea, like, what I'm getting at is that the giants, like, have been around the whole time. Because you find giant corpses in Ash Lake, and there's like a giant tomb full of dead giants underneath Firelink shrines. Like, they were around, like, and basically I'm assuming because they didn't find a soul, they were not a threat like humans were, so the gods worked with them. They fought the dragons, and then they continued to work with the gods. So they have giants working in Anor Londo, and you have giants at Sen's Fortress, and you have a giant working with Gwyn's Knights. So then in Dark Souls 2, Vendrick and Aldia, during their experiments, they figure out that giants are somehow necessary, or like just worth studying or something, to create these golems and to study the link between the body and the soul. So Vendrick kidnaps a bunch of giants, takes them back to Drang Lake, and Aldia experiments on them. This leads to the giants getting revenge, so a giant the king of the giants and their fleet attack Drang Lake and destroy it. Then in Dark Souls 3, it attempts to sort of dovetail both stories. So you have, like, giants conquered the profaned capital at some point, and Yorm is the descendant of... The giants conquered the profaned capital at some point, and also giants are still working with the gods. So you have the giants that were in Anor Londo get captured and imprisoned / killed by the Aldrich Faithful, which then some of them are taken back to the Cathedral of the Deep and used to stomp on bodies, kind of like grapes. And then the other giants are locked in Irithyll Dungeon by the people of the Profaned Capital after they overthrow the giants who overthrew them.
Richie?
I think that's it.
Richard?
Yeah.
This was worse than the first part of the podcast.
What?
You sounded so unsure of yourself, Richard. What's going on?
Well, because I don't think the giant thing makes a great deal of sense. Do I think amygdala are the giants of Bloodborne? Is a question.
What do you think?
Well, I think, like, the amygdalas seem to be like a species. Because all the great ones seem to be unique. But then you have amygdala that are just hanging around. So I saw them kind of like pilot fish. Where, like, whenever there's some sort of, like, horrible eldritch abomination, the amygdala sort of, like, are attached to it. And then they just show up. They're kind of like just in the Dreamlands.
Wait, are they like those people where, let's say some drama happens, they're there, like eating popcorn, listening?
Amygdala are the keen star of the great ones.
You'll be proud of me. I know who Keemstar is.
Is that something to be proud of?
Well, usually when you say some like random reference or a meme or some YouTube drama, I'm like, what? And then you have to explain it to me.
So you think their amygdala are on Twitter and it's like #RedMoon. And then Mikolash is sitting there and he gets his like little notification like amygdala is raiding with 50 guests, and then suddenly they're everywhere. Yes, Roger points out there are giants in Bloodborne in the Chalice Dungeon, the Thumerian giants, and like the church giants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they're not like. Then the reason we're talking about giants separately is because they're meant to be like a separate species or like group or something, whereas the giants in Bloodborne are just like very, very big people.
Yeah.
Do you know internally they're called Frankenstein?
Franken-Knuckles.
Yeah, they're called Frankenstein, and the ones with the burning hand is called Franken-Knucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, like... I don't know if they just thought that was a cool name for a big monster, or maybe they were actually thinking, like the original plan was that the church were going to make them out of corpses.
Yeah, because don't some of them look like they were sewn together? Yeah,
they have, like bits of skin missing, and a bunch of them have, like weird sort of, like giant swollen appendages sort of stuck to them. And, like, they have organs falling out and stuff. And the thing is, they have, like, human-sized heads. The rest of their body is huge.
Mm-hmm. People talking about Big Moon Energy in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you proud? I'm proud.
You know, there's people who are like, oh, if only I hadn't said that, everything would have been different.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like that way about several of the memes that have grown up around offhanded comments I've made during streams.
But Big Moon Energy, I think, is the best one. We also have... We can actually make an energy drink, because we have, like, the, Ike drew a logo.
Yeah.
And we know... like, the main ingredient in it is arcane, so we just gotta find some arcane. So, like, we got this. Oh, can I go down
Do I
there?
think the Giants took over Anor Londo after Dark Souls 1? I guess, like... The thing about Dark Souls 3 is it implies Gwendolyn stayed alive. Like, Gwendolyn was always running Anor Londo. So, like, there were always giants in Anor Londo, but, like, Gwendolyn... I guess, like, according to Dark Souls 3, Gwendolyn just never... Gwendolyn doesn't die in 1. And he just stays in charge of the place until Aldrich eats him. Until Aldrich eats Lothric and pretends it's Gwendolyn.
Oh god, yeah. But that's a story for another day.
But, no, that is the story. There's nothing else to it.
Oh my god, Richard. Why do
They're gonna have to... They will have to make Dark Souls 4 to explain Dark Souls 3.
Is that it for the
Yeah,
giants?
the Thumerians are a civilization from a time ago. And, the church giants and the church servants just are Thumerians that they dug up.
Yeah.
From the labyrinth and just put to work for them, because they don't seem to have any, like, will of their own. When is the Gwendolyn podcast? We have someone who wants to talk Gwendolyn with us, but we need to sync with her first. Yeah. Zenolalia, who is sometimes in the chat, I don't think she's here now, she wants to talk about Gwendolyn and Lothric.
Yeah.
But we haven't been able to coordinate with her yet.
Yeah, it's been so long too. And we said that this is the year we're gonna like have more guests because we have so many people to go through.
This is the problem, because like we set Patreon goals and said if anyone's in hearing, message us, and we got about 4 times as much response as we thought we would. So now we actually have like a backlog of guests, and we have Patreon goals we haven't done yet because we hit the following goal before we started.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like thank you everyone who is.
Yeah, actually, that's
we just got this massive response we weren't expecting, so we're playing catch up.
Yeah, it's very heartwarming though.
Eden wants to talk about Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Sure. When?
Okay, we can do that. You've seen Brotherhood of the Wolf, haven't you?
Is this wait before I go irate? Is that it for the giants?
I think so.
Okay, Richie.
Oh, hang on, Merritt. Oh no, that's about Gwendolyn. I thought it was about golf. Okay.
Okay. Richie.
Yes.
Do the outro.
That was an impromptu discussion of giants in the Soulsbook Hero series. Oh, hang on, Aquaman says, what about giants with Dream City? Those aren't giants, those are just people. Those are just the Herald Knights who went to the Ring City and then they swelled up and their heads fell off. So if you check the set description, it's like the Dark Soul made them swell to huge size. So those were just people who went there. They're dressed very similarly to Gale.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe during the design phase, like they were supposed to be like members of Gale's like slave unit. Will this be on the main channel? I don't think so, but if you just just bookmark it.
Yeah. Basically,
you can,
what I'm gonna do. Okay, keep interrupting me, please, Richie.
Got a question about Millwood Knights. Millwood Knights are also just people who are very large. Now, there's been a reference to the band There Might Be Giants.
Oh, why no, that sound effect doesn't belong here. Where did it come from? It's not even there. This is so
okay,
weird.
we have another giant question.
Okay, stop the outro. It's a complete mess. Where were all these questions when we were talking? Why are you guys being such a Richie? Why are you interrupting me when I'm going on a rant, first of all, Richie? Second of all, why is everybody being bully? You guys had 5 hours to ask your questions, and now that I started the outro music, everybody's like, oh, let's ask a million questions. Well, we can't answer a million questions because the outro music is only 3 minutes long. And I have to fit the outro into 3 minutes, and it's not gonna happen. Okay, ask your questions.
Okay, so Millwood Knights are just people who are very big. Meridash is talking about the alliance between the the giant with the bow and the evangelists. That is a reference to this weird mechanic where if you're wearing the evangelist set and the giant, it's the equivalent of the white branch, where like if the giant shoots you, it won't do any damage. Or like the giant won't aim at you or something. That is probably because like the giants were intended to be guarding the cathedral originally. And they wouldn't shoot the evangelist, and then they switched it to like the giants are imprisoned in the cathedral and they're trying to escape. And then like the escaped giant is like getting revenge on the cathedral for imprisoning them. But I guess when they did that, they didn't remove that flag that stops the giant from hitting you if you wear the evangelist set. There's a lot of like weird stuff like that in 3 because it was... What were we talking about with Xenolalia? We were talking about... Someone said, are we going to do a Gwendolyn podcast? And we said that you wanted to talk about Gwendolyn with us, but we hadn't done it yet. So that's Xenolalia. We're going to talk with her about Gwendolyn at some point.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to coordinate.
Yeah.
Okay, any more giant questions?
Okay. A Sinner giant.
Yes! I'm a giant! Yeah. Oh my god, today, because my boyfriend took me out to all-you-can-eat sushi, because it's my birthday. It was super fun. Yeah. And then, so when we were going back home, we took the metro. And so we were going back home, and there's like escalators in the metro, right? And I always stand in front of my boyfriend, because this way I'm taller than him. And then I was like, I made a song. I don't remember, but the song was something like, look at those tiny humans beneath me, because I'm the tallest person on the escalator, because I was on the tallest step. And then I repeatedly sang it to him every time we were on an escalator. Yeah.
Would you say that your songs are more or less annoying when they have lyrics?
Are they more or less annoying when they have lyrics?
Yeah, because a lot of the time your songs are just like...
I think they're more original when they have lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I made a song. I forgot about this, but I guess I will remember once I edit the podcast. I made a song about how you're a bully, about the 4 kings, remember? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I can't remember it though, but...
Lyric suggested we do Attack on Titan for the anime thing and talk about that. Like, maybe, if we get around. We have a lot of anime we want to get.
But it's not part of the thing we're doing now, because it's supposed to be like 10-plus-year-old stuff. So we'll need to... Yeah, that's what I thought, no? Like, we'll do old, irrelevant, bad anime. Except for Reborn, that's perfect. Actually, yes, so we have an exception. So
no, the only reason we've been doing old stuff is stuff I remember.
I thought that was the point. I thought we were supposed to be like...
Well, I just haven't watched anything that's been made in the last, like, 15 years. I haven't even seen Cowboy Bebop yet.
What?
That's how out of, like... that's how bad it is.
Are we gonna have to do another version of this giant podcast?
What about Cowboy Bebop?
We'll watch Cowboy Bebop. I watched it many years ago, around the time it came out. I liked it. Like, on the one hand, I didn't really get it, but on the other hand, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if I rewatch it now as like a adult or whatever, I think I'll get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, Ninja Scroll. I've got Ninja Scroll somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it as like a young person as well, so I didn't really get it at that time either.
Yeah.
Like I
have not seen Samurai Champloo.
People interrupt me again, Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep interrupting me, please. I love it.
Continue.
No, I have nothing to say.
Okay.
So, the giant... Okay. So, this... Because this is supposed to be so I don't have to edit. Okay, Richie.
Yep.
Can you sum up the giant thing in like 5 minutes or less?
Didn't we just do that?
No, we didn't, because you went off on a tangent, and then we tried to do the intro, and there were more questions.
Okay.
Okay, okay, wait, everyone.
I will close my eyes so I can't see the chat.
Well, wait. So now, does anybody have any more questions about the giants so we can answer them now so you guys have your answers?
You just told them to stop asking them.
No, oh my god! That was because it was the outro, and we wouldn't have time to answer all of them. So now what I'm saying is, I know people have questions. And I had questions for Bloodborne, and that's why I appreciated you doing podcasts with me, because it answered my questions and it cleared things up. So now I'm asking if anybody else has any questions that haven't been answered yet, so that it clears up their questions and betters them in life. Can I give Sin the palace water? What's that? Hello, Richie? Richie, are you there? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What's palace water?
I don't know.
Okay. Yes, I'll have some palace water with some sushi. Holy guacamole, she's about to ask for Richard's manager.
Hashtag pray for Richie.
Send us why we put Volnir in the abyss. Just say. Okay, so does anyone for reals, does anybody have any questions that they need answered about the giants that we have not addressed yet throughout the podcast? If Nito lives in the Tomb of Giants, does that make him one?
It's a very good point. I don't know. I don't
think so.
He's just a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah. He's like a poser. He's not a real giant. It's like if a bunch of sins, like, bunched up together and they became big, like, that's not a giant, that's just a bunch of sins. That's actually a really good idea. Giant dads. Oh yeah, you told me about that one. What does that mean again?
Giant, it's a build people would use, where they combine the Mask of the Father with the giant set, and they're basically like they min-max to get the giant set but fast rolling by stacking all these things that gave you extra equipment load. So it became a meme because it was pretty easy to do.
Okay, that's cool.
So if you got invaded in Dark Souls at a certain time, it was probably going to be someone in the giant set with the Mask of the Father doing the "well, what is it" gesture.
That's so cute, though.
With the Chaos Zweihander plus 10. Meridak says there's a video that shows Nito without the layers. So I guess we can see what Nito looks like underneath the skeleton cape.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Whoa.
It would depend on the species of duck.
There are different species of duck?
Because there's some because I live near a lake, and there's some kind of ducks that are pretty vicious, and others that are just sort of like.
Oh, Raging says, I wanna ask Sekiro questions, but is this still a giant stream? Okay. Okay, we will do this.
I don't think it was ever a giant stream. I think this is...
No, we will do this. We will do this, Richie.
Alright.
Okay, so this is the outline. This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do the intro real quick. We're gonna do the side effect. You're gonna talk about the giants. Say whatever you have to say, but say it with a little bit of enthusiasm, please. Last time it was very unsure, and you were like, you were like worse than me doing a presentation. So we'll do that, and then we will do the outro with the outro music. And then we will say, okay, we'll have to mention that this is a live stream, and this part of the live stream will be public, because people ask that. Basically, the giant stream that we're going to do right now will be public, and the rest of the stream will be unlisted and on Patreon. But if you want, you can, like, save the link, like, save this, whatever, and so you can access it any time. Because unlisted, like, you can still access. Oh, Zanalalia has a question.
Okay.
Why is The Last Giant such a weak... Oh my god!
That is because he has been locked in a prison for, like, however many years, and there's no food and no gym, and he's wasting away.
Oh, poor little guy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh my god, Raro, I dare you. I effing dare you, bro.
That's true. There is could have done chin-ups in the prison.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready? So you know what's gonna happen?
Okay.
Okay,
Was Yorm's lost his people? Yes.
Yeah, and we talk about, actually, you guys, we have a podcast on like giants and Yorm and stuff in different forms. Like if you Google Yorm, that we explain Yorm, I put out the whole thing. Remember when we were like, we'll just put out 10 minutes because it was horrible in the end. People liked what's horrible, so we put out the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Loki talked about them at some point, but I don't know. So just listen to everything Loki's in, and I'm sure giants are mentioned. And
it's good. Just listen to everything Loki's in.
Yeah.
Just listen to the, like, I think about 7 hours of Loki audio that we've got, and then
more than 7.
your question may be answered.
Yeah. Also, I should do better tags. Like, I'm not very good with tags. I've been trying to.
What
like,
do you tag this no damage run?
No, oh, god damn it! I mean, tags in the podcast. You can put a tag being like giant podcaster, blah blah blah. But I try, but I don't always like succeed in doing them well. So, I should work on that. I've been working on that. I've been actually going back to the podcast we did, putting better tags, like changing the title so it's consistent, doing some thumbnails. Not the ones you did. The ones you did are perfect. They're staying forever. But for other ones, to make things more comprehensive or whatever. So I've been doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So can we do this, everyone? Everyone's good? No more questions about giants? Okay. So what Rich is gonna do is he's gonna explain everything with a very enthusiastic voice in about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna do the outro, and then we're gonna post that excerpt in the channel, and then the rest of the Patreon. You got it? Good? We got this?
I'm closing my eyes so I can't see the chat.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
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 Okay, let me get the sound and the intro. Okay. Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
How are you today?
Hi, Sin.
I am also excellent. Tell us what we're doing here today.
This is our third attempt to explain giants, because the first one took too long, and in the second one I didn't sound enthusiastic enough. This is part of a very long stream that we're doing, which you can see on patreon.com, where all our NSFW content is available. Not because it's too sexy, but because it's fucking horrible. That should not be listened to by anyone.
Well, you know, fun fact, some people told me that because they listen to our content at work, it helps them focus more. Yeah, it helps them focus and they're more productive.
Oh dear. I hope none of them are operating heavy machinery. Or like surgeons or something.
Can you imagine if it's like if somebody is a surgeon and they're like, wait a minute, I gotta listen to this.
Kicking in and I start hearing I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Okay, Richie. While I play Sekiro here, tell me about the giants.
Okay, Giants take 3. I have my eyes covered so I can't see the chat. Okay.
But Agent Funk says, I listen to these podcasts while watching small children. Oh no. Are they alive? Are they okay?
I feel like this would adversely affect a child's development if they heard it. Okay.
Okay.
So, alright. In Dark Souls, slightly confusing thing about the furtive pygmy because it's translated as though there's like one guy called the furtive pygmy, but it's actually more like, hey, when the 3 souls were claimed, the 4th soul was claimed by just like the insignificant small people in the shadows that no one really like paid attention to. So, and like Gwyn knows that because the humans / pygmies claimed the Dark Soul, they are potentially very dangerous. So the giants were also hanging around then. They are a very, very ancient race. They did not claim one of the Lord Souls. So they are like not a threat to the gods. So it looks like they fought during the war against the dragons, and then they continue to work with the gods. They guard Anor Londo. One of them is one of Gwyn's knights, and one of them is the blacksmith who makes like the weapons and everything that they use at Anor Londo.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they also guard Sense Fortress, which is the way into Anor Londo. So that's basically Dark Souls 1. They're just like they worked with the gods and continue to work with the gods, and you find like their bodies in Ash Lake where there's remnants of the Dragon War, and you find their bodies in like just a giant tomb that is under Filing Shrine, which is a sacred place to the gods. So human giants and gods pretty tight. Because I'm assuming just because they don't threaten them, because they do not have any Lord Soul in them. Dark Souls 2. Vendrick and Aldia, after X number of fire linkings, start to wonder, like, is there a way out of the curse that does not involve this fire-dark dichotomy? What can we do to escape hollowing? They settle on something to do with removing the soul from the body.
Okay.
And as part of the research, Vendrick goes to where the giants are. This is very confusing because, like, this is apparently a separate, like, giant kingdom that's just giants. I don't know where it came from. Don't know if it's anything to do with the giants in Dark Souls 1. Is it like a separate group of giants? Is it the giants after Dark Souls 1 left and formed a kingdom? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and he takes a bunch of them prisoner, and then they're given to Aldia to experiment on. And that somehow leads to the creation of the golems, because they look very, very similar. But it's not, they don't go into detail about it, but basically Aldia's experiments on the giants that Vendrick captures end up being integral in creating the golems that Vendrick then uses to build stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I think they say the golems built Dranglake Castle. Anyway. The giants are angry about this, so they then attack Dranglake. And they are responsible for it falling. Then, like, there's just a bunch of, like, little vignette memories you get of giants attacking Dranglake. So in that situation, and also Dark Souls 2 establishes that giants are linked to trees, and when giants die, they turn into trees. So again, it's sort of hinting that, like, okay, giants are something that's kind of part of the old world. They're, like, linked to the trees, the arch trees and the stone and everything, and they just sort of re-enter the cycle when they die. So that's really all that happens in Dark Souls 2 with the giants. They're just like, they're a plot point that sort of explains a bunch of stuff in it, but the story is still, they're like something that Vendrick and Aldia work with. They're not a huge like the story. They're not like the fulcrum of the story. They're like the backstory.
Okay.
Then Dark Souls 3 attempts to sort of dovetail both stories together by having the Yorm character who is, and this would have been clearer if they left stuff in. It's meant to be like the giants who attacked in Dark Souls 2 are the same giants from Dark Souls 1, but they wore slightly different looking armor. However that works. That made them look different. Because the giants in Dark Souls 2 have what are referred to as butt faces. They have like a corporate face. And Dark Souls 3 also has one of the giant tree corpses from 2 in it at Filing Shrine, and it functions the same way by dropping this like... I also forgot to mention, Aldia builds the ancient dragon out of a giant.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah, I completely forgot that part.
That's pretty important,
The culmination of what Aldia is doing is he makes a dragon, and when you beat it, you get a giant soul. So the idea is that Aldia... This is not a real dragon, this is like a facsimile dragon that Aldia brought to life with a giant soul. So that's part of his experiments.
Mm-hmm.
But the giants are a really integral part of Dark Souls 2's backstory, but also they're pretty much just in the backstory. You don't really encounter them.
Okay.
So in Dark Souls 3 tries to sort of dovetail the 1 and 2 together by having like the Dark Souls 2 giant tree is at Filing Shrine. It drops seeds like the trees do in Dark Souls 2. Yorm is kind of meant to look like a Dark Souls 2 giant, but he's really a Dark Souls 1 giant, trying to say that these are the same thing, but he just had a different hat on. There's 2 kind of strains of giant story in Dark Souls 3. One of them is that Yorm is the descendant of a group of giants who conquered the profaned capital. Then after they conquered it, the people rebelled and overthrew them, and then they built Irithyll Dungeon around one of the giants. And then basically they built Irithyll Dungeon as a cell for giants to be kept in after they overthrew them. Then when things started to go badly with the Profaned Flame, they turned to Yorm and said, like, we need you to be our king again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, we have a whole thing on Yorm and how his timeline is a mess. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then there is the second giant story in 3, which is that the giants who were working for the gods in Anor Londo, when Aldrich attacks Anor Londo, they kill off a bunch of the giants, and then they take some of them prisoner, and they take them back to the Cathedral of the Deep. They're in these pools of bodies, and it's... I don't know if they're going for this, but it seems like a lot of people have the same thought, that it's almost like... It's like stomping grapes, that like these big giants stand there and they mash up the corpses by standing on them, turn them into this like slime that's part of the cathedral.
Oh, gross.
And one of them presumably escapes and camps out on top of a tower with a bow and shoots at the cathedral. And if you make friends with him, he will like help you attack the cathedral. He'll like support you by firing arrows like artillery.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And I think that's all.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Richard. That was very concise and very good.
Yeah, I now look at the chat, and the first message I see is Yorm is rich. And that you are the profane capital bullying me into doing things for you.
Lol. Well, I think we can now go back to the chat and see if there was something.
Lady Farron just says Havel ? And I don't know what that's in response to.
Is Havel a giant? I don't think so.
No, Havel is
Havel is what? You like?
Havel is presumably one of... Oh, the boss on the bridge, okay. Yeah, we're coming up to a Sekiro boss who is a bit like Havel.
Oh, snap!
Mm.
Oh, okay, and so I'm gonna go back in the chat to... Because when we started the podcast, we stopped reading the chat, so now I'm gonna go back and read it. And, okay, where is it? How tall are giants in terms of Richards? 50 Richards tall.
Well, the giant size keeps changing, because like in Dark Souls 1 they're like half as big as they are in 3.
How does Andre the Giant relate to Dark Souls?
Well, Dark Souls does have Andre in it, and he does use wrestling moves. So it's possible that Andre of Astora is Andre the Giant, and he went through the fissure into Boletaria, and then ended up in Lordran.
Cool.
Xenolali is thinking about how uncool it would be if his name was Pavel instead of Havel.
Pavel? That's like a Russian name.
Yeah.
Is that the joke? Are Russians uncool, Xenolalia?
I'm just thinking of, like, those people that endlessly reenact the beginning of Dark Knight Rises with Dr. Pavel.
Who's Dr. Pavel?
He's the scientist who gets caught at the beginning of Dark Knight Rises, like the pre-credits scene, and everyone... Like, people reenacted that scene pretty much constantly for about 5 years after the film came out.
Explain this, I don't understand.
Have you seen Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, like a long time ago. I didn't really like
it. Yeah, well, you know at the beginning when Bane hijacks the plane?
Oh, it's the Bane one!
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen, like, parts of it here and there, and I read up on it, and I'm like, have better things to do in life.
Okay, well, a lot of people disagreed with you and thought they should just reenact the hijacking scene constantly for about, say, about 5 to 6 years after the film came out. It was still going.
Okay.
And that has Dr. Pavel in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so if Havel had been called Pavel, we would have had a lot of, like, Dr. Pavel, I'm chosen undead. He says Dr. Pavel. I can do the whole scene, by the way.
Okay, do the scene. Like, we're done with the Giants. This is, like, extra content. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go, Richie. And do it with voices, too, because you're good with voices.
No, we'll do this later on.
Okay, well, let me... This is me, I'm Richie. I can do the whole scene, but then I'm not gonna do it.
The Havel boss is coming up.
Well, I know. I saw my boyfriend fight someone there. That's why I didn't go there. Wait. Also, you interrupted me doing my impression of you. So I'm gonna do it again.
Okay, Lady Farron has been trying to ask me this. Oh, okay. Have I beaten Sekiro? No. Am I at the Demon Bell? No. I haven't played it for a few days. I've been doing other things, but I'm gonna go back to it. I haven't beaten Genichiro, but I think I've gotten as far as possible without beating him. So, like, I've gotten to the end of Senpo Temple, but I can't progress any further because there's a guy asking about the Divine Air. I got to a part in Gunfort where I need a key, and I got to the Bloodborne ripoff area 27B, where, like, the boss just destroyed me in 2 hits. So I think I'm not supposed to be there yet.
Oh, I like this one. How tall is Sin in terms of candies? Oh, like, I think like 50. Like 50 candies. Or like 10 Toblerones.
Oh, go up onto the peak, like, behind you. Because there's a quest item there.
Here?
Yeah, go up onto, like, the edge of the mountain. Just to save you coming back later on. No, like, the mountain, like, the peak. Like, yeah, there. There's a slight delay, but yeah.
But, like, how do I get there?
You just jump. No. Like, I'm really worried about giving you direction because of the delay.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me read more questions.
No, don't go down. You're already... Oh, she's already got it. Don't worry, you've already got it.
Oh, thank you for nothing again, Richie. You're so useful at wasting my life.
Do you want to fight Havel?
I will after I told you I'm reading the comments. We have to go through the comments so then we can do an outro.
Okay.
Are giants big because they have big moon energy? Thank you for that question, Kern. I appreciate it. I know Richard doesn't, but I truly do. And then Raro goes, badumts. um, how many moons can a giant drink energy? Thank you, Lady Farron.
I just started eating because I forgot we were doing this live and that out.
If the moon presence drinks big moon energy, does that make the pale blood sky? Yes. Oh, I want some dumplings.
Someone's asking if you're gonna make me watch Jaden Smith's anime.
What is that?
I know it exists, I haven't seen it.
I feel like, yeah, I guess. I don't understand. What? Explain.
Jaden Smith's in an anime?
Like, Jaden Smith? Like, how can we see if we have no eyes, Jaden Smith?
Yep, yeah.
Oh.
The prophet of the 21st century, Jaden Smith.
Okay. Oh, okay, Richie, so whenever you said dovetail, I was skipping a count in my head, but I didn't have to because the chat was doing it as well. Did you see?
Good.
Dovetail count.
No, because I...
Dovetail count over.
Like how the viewership has steadily increased since we stopped talking about the thing that's the subject of the stream.
Okay, so I think we can do the outro now.
Okay.
Okay, before we do the outro, if anybody's wondering, the full stream, which is going to be a couple of hours, I guess, will be up on Patreon. And what this whole thing is we created a thing on Patreon where the people in the Yamamba tier can suggest questions, and everyone on Patreon can vote for what they would like to hear us talk about on the stream. Okay, are you ready, Richie?
For the outro?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Mimi just posted a thick gas coin thing and I got distracted.
Where's the thick Gascoigne thing?
Vodka and some other people are staying with Mimi and they're just leaving, and to remember her by Vodka made Mimi a cardboard Gascoigne money holder.
Aww.
Who has an extremely thick ass, and you put the money in between the cheeks.
That is adorable.
Sorry, it was very distracting. I'm paying attention now.
Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Do the outro, Richie.
That was Giants Take 3, with a surprise ending about Gascoigne. If you want to hear the full unedited catastrophe, including parts 1, 2, and various random tangents and screaming at me, you can go to patreon.com, and I don't know how I hope it's not very much to hear that.
It's gonna be on the $2 tier.
Other great content.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you're just listening to this now,
just bookmark it.
You can just bookmark it.
Yeah, bookmark it and save $2 and
also,
get yourself a copy.
If you know someone who does subscribe to the Patreon at the $2 tier, you can just get them to give you the URL.
Yeah, that's true too, actually.
Yeah. Here's how to con us out of money. Because frankly, we don't deserve it. This is garbage.
Also, it's my birthday today!
Yep. Happy birthday, Sin.
Thank you!
This is Sin is slightly less than a year younger than me.
Yeah.
So we have this like grace period of a couple of weeks where we're the same age.
Yay!
And during that period, you're supposed to not bully me because I'm not older than you anymore, so it's mean. But
yeah.
Clearly, we're not observing that this year.
I kind of forgot about that. You should have reminded me. So actually, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. And the chat could have reminded me at any point. They know the rules.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Richie. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. Hope you have, like, a good day and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah? You know, have a good day. Be good. Be good to each other. If you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love somebody else? RuPaul?
I don't know.
Yeah? No, RuPaul said that. He said that.
Yeah.
RuPaul says that at the end of every episode. It's really awesome. I love Drag Race so much. I can't wait for season 11 to be on Netflix. Yeah.
Is this gonna be like Reborn? You're gonna make me watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
Oh my god! Richie! Well, you said it, not me, so I guess we have to do it. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye, Richie.
Bye. Bye, Sam.
Okay, and scene. Good. We said bye, but we're not going anywhere.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So, oh yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to you.
Wait, who are you talking to? Who else is here?
No, I thought you were gonna say that.
Why would I say that? I'm a gentle flower and a perfect human.
Hang on, I'm sending you guys.
So, who is here with us today? Oh, that's beautiful. I like how he's smiling. He's like, hey, girl. Man, we have talented people on here listening to us.
Yeah.
Makes us feel like pieces of shit.
We're not still live, are we?
Yeah, we are. Shut up, you know we're live. Richie always does that. He's like, oh, what a funny joke I do. I'm so funny, I'm funny Richard, look at me.
No, I genuinely don't know if we're live or not.
Oh yeah, we are. Why, I tell you that, like, stream over. This was just like, so I can cut it up and put it on the thing. On the
Oh,
channel.
it's still going, okay. I said bye every...
Yeah, but it was for the outro, because I was gonna, like,
for
cut
God's
out
sake,
the
okay.
thing and do the out, like, I just cut it out and I don't have
Okay.
to add anything in. I don't even have to add
Okay.
the music, because it's there.
Well, that at least proves that I don't start insulting people the second I don't think we're live.
Do I?
Like, oh yeah, that ought to hold those pricks. This fucking subhuman vermin.
Thank you for coming. Somebody's leaving. Thank you for coming, Lyric. Yeah, so, I guess we can do a couple more minutes. Does anybody have, because I want to see this boss, but does anybody have any Sekiro questions? Because people want us to do a podcast on Sekiro, but I think, like, maybe, I don't know, should we progress more? We didn't
Okay,
have a
I think
consensus.
you should fight this guy, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Can I run on the other side?
Well, okay,
Darn it.
This boss is probably one of the easier ones that I fought. It took me a few attempts to figure out what I had to do, but...
Oh yeah, that's
oh,
very
Dom's
easy.
here.
Yeah, Richie, that's one of the easier bosses. Thanks. A-hole. Dom's here. Hi, Dom.
Skate and Tango is my friend Dom, who just referenced a very strange comic called Dragon Kingdoms that I don't think it's possible to explain to a human.
Why not?
Dragon Kingdoms was a... Okay, a very long time ago, I used to hang around RPG Maker sites. This is before Steam existed, before you could get RPG Maker, like, just on a storefront. The only way to get RPG Maker was, like, this weird cracked version made by... was translated from, like, Japanese to Russian to English. And a bunch of the functions, no one understood what they did and anything. Anyway, There were, in like old Final Fantasies and stuff, what happens is like there's the town, then you leave the town, you go to the world map, but you stay the same size. So there's like it's your sprite, but you're walking around, and you appear to be the size of the town. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I do.
One of the people there, he decided that like his take on that was that rather than it just being like displaying you as big, you had a giant friend, and when you went in between the towns, you were riding in his pocket. So there was like just a giant standing outside the town called William. And he couldn't go in the town because he was too big. And then when you left the town, you get in his pocket and you'd walk between the towns. That's how he explained it. And he made like I think 6 or 7 of these really weird games. That he then spun off into a webcomic. And like
Okay.
I don't know where to begin with this webcomic. It was like I don't want to give the impression that I think it was like, oh, epic cringe, because it wasn't. It was just like describing a dream.
I think you talked about this at some point though.
Yeah, so he did all these comics. It was about the characters from his game and their giant friend William. And like the comics would have very little to do. It was like in between the games. So it wasn't like them going on an adventure. It was mostly them hanging around watching the Weather Channel.
Oh yeah, you did talk about it. I remember.
Yeah, so like there would be whole episodes of the comic that was just them watching the Weather Channel. And then like talking about, oh, it looks very cloudy today. But the thing is, like, this fascinated him in real life, because we were friends and we would talk, and I would, like, out of nowhere, he would just message me on AOL and be like, oh, I notice there's a lot of humidity where you are.
Aww.
So he just loved the weather.
Uh-huh.
And all of the character... Yeah, okay, so people are pushing this toward, like, what happened at the end of Dragon. So, like, I'll just go like the key joke in Dragon Kingdom that people would not realize there was a giant. So a recurring thing that would happen would be that someone would say would start bullying the main characters, and they'd say, "Watch out, we have a friend who's a giant," and they would look in the distance. The giant would be in the distance, but this apparently took place in a world where no one had depth perception. So they would then say, he just looks normal size to me. And then he would walk over to them, and then they would explain directly to the audience, like, no, I thought he was a normal person, but he's a giant standing far away. That was, like, a disturbingly high proportion of them were just that. Because, like, the thing is, all the characters in it, it was like one template he would just copy-paste, and to make it a giant, he would stretch them. So, like, when he was in the distance, you actually couldn't tell, because it just looked like a person, because there was no sense of scale or depth in the way he drew it. Anyway, after about 10 years of watching the Weather Channel, going on picnics, etc., one of the characters announced that, like, oh, the integer that holds the number of webcomics is approaching 256. So for what that means is, like, if you have an 8-bit value, it can go from 0 to 256. It can't go any higher. No, it goes from 0 to 255. It can't go above 255. Which is a common thing, like, in old games. Often if you get 255 of something, that's the maximum, or, like, some games where they haven't foreseen it, if you get 255 of something and then one more, it'll roll over to 0. So that then became a plot point, and they were saying, like, oh, what are we going to do, because the comic is going to hit 256, and then it's going to roll back over to 0 and create a time paradox. Which is like a joke you would get, like a meta joke, but they treated it completely seriously. As like, this is the apocalypse is actually going to happen due to integer overflow in this world. As though it were really happening. So they eventually it was like Evangelion. They finally hit 256. It looped around, and then the characters. Keep in mind, this is after just like years of them just watching the Weather Channel and going to the mall. Woke up in a giant floating crystal prison.
Oh my god.
In a void.
That's amazing.
Just like orbiting the destroyed planet. And then they were like, well, now it's the end and the apocalypse is happening. They went down to the surface and it's like, okay, all of our greatest enemies have come back for the apocalypse. But because of the way the comic was structured, there weren't really any enemies at all. So it was like a giant M&M they met once, called a W and W. A turkey. And Anne Robinson from The Weakest Link. Because there'd been an episode where William the Giant had been on The Weakest Link and she made fun of him. Aww. So she, by definition, was one of the, like, great antagonists of the series. And also, there was a guy who was just called Shizzle, a mean guy with grey skin. And I don't understand who he was or what he was supposed to be. He's just a guy with grey skin who they didn't like. So then, the apocalypse happens, the giant turkey, the M&M, and Anne Robinson attack them. Then William the Giant gets so sad that the world's ended, he starts crying, which causes this, like, biblical flood.
Oh my god.
Then one of the characters just announces out of nowhere that he's gay. During the apocalypse, to which one of the other characters says, yep, I suspected it for years. It was just never commented on again. And then the world just like ends, and then he just went back to he just started again. Like it was this like Dark Souls cycle. And then they just started this other one, and it's just like here's another story, it's just the same characters set before the world ended.
Huh. This is very weird.
It's just like, what's going on in this thing? And the problem is that, like, he did it, and because it was all done, a bunch of people found it and just made, and he like, took it offline. And I'm like, no, because that's not what's good about it. Like, it's like he had a dream and it ended up on the internet. It made absolutely no sense. And like there was, I remember I was talking about this during another stream like ages ago. There was one where it was a 4-part story called Don't Rush William, where one of the characters was hanging from like a cliff, and he said, William, you better get me down. And William said, all right, I'm gonna get you down, but don't rush me. And the rest of the comic was just, hey, William, hurry up. I don't care if you have to rush. I want you to get me down right now. This went on for, like, weeks. So William's like, fine, I'll rush to you. The next panel, William has stood on a house. There are bodies underneath his foot, and he yells, they're all dead! All because you rushed me!
That's pretty awesome.
It was beautiful. And yet the guy who made it was exactly like who you would expect to make it. He was one of the strangest people I've ever encountered.
Aww.
I'm trying to think of what it was just like. It's hard to remember because it had a real coherent story to it. The problem is you can't read it, Merodite, because it was taken offline because people made fun of the artwork.
That sucks.
It was like a sprite comic, but he made the sprites. So it was just these like MS Paint drawings that he would stretch and distort to represent people of various sizes. There was one where William the Giant met Paul Bunyan, and he had to prove he was stronger than Paul Bunyan, but he couldn't draw them fighting, so he gets around it by having the giant, like, he cut his legs out and rotated them 90 degrees, so he's doing the splits, and had him in the air, and he looked like he was doing this, like, Matrix kick on Paul Bunyan. And then Paul Bunyan's like, well, you've proven you're strong. And yeah, pretty much every comic was just like, wow, that guy's huge, indeed. He's a giant. Ah, huge.
Maybe we should start a podcast about our dreams.
It was not going to top Dragon Kingdoms. Is the thing about Dragon Kingdoms is, like, you don't understand how weird the ending is unless you saw it in context, because nothing had happened prior to that. It was just like they went to the movies and William cinema because he's too big, but then he gets around it by, like, looking through a window.
Aww.
But then just the apocalypse happens and Anne Robinson from The Weakest Link and Giant Turkey are there.
Cool.
He made, like, the games as well.
Yeah.
Like, I played a few, and he was one of the only finished projects, because he didn't... Everyone else was doing these, like, oh... Keep in mind, this is, like, early 2000. So it was like, oh, I want to make, like a quote-unquote real RPG. Like, this is before, like, Yume Nikki existed, and before, like, Undertale existed and proved that you could do just, like, short things and things with no combat and people would still like them. So people were trying to make, like, something that would actually have been on the Super Nintendo. And this guy's the only one who finished anything, because he basically just had, like, a series of dungeons and arguments with a giant. And in the games, William was the morality system. Because what would happen is, like, you would randomly get the choice to do things that were pointlessly destructive. So it wasn't like BioShock or something where, like, you can choose to sacrifice a little sister, but it makes you stronger. This was just like if you could just randomly murder a child.
Damn.
And you got nothing out of it. And it would be things like there's a bush and you just have the option to burn it. And burning it accomplishes nothing, but it does make William angry. And if you made William too angry, he would just stand on you, and that was the end of the game.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep. Dragon's Blood Droplet is what you cure Dragon Rot with.
Oh, where is it? Oh, nice. How many should I get? Oh.
You only get one.
Can I only cure it once? Or?
No, I think it's a rare drop later on. Have you got the blood sample for Emma?
I got one of them, but then everybody got sick again.
Yeah, you can use it at the idols to cure it.
Every time, or?
Well, it costs a dragon droplet to do. It's kind of like the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes.
Yeah, but then when am I gonna get more of them? Because I'm gonna die again after I cure it. Like, hello?
Yeah, I just ignored it because I don't care about Unseen Aid.
But don't people die if you don't cure it?
Not that I've seen.
But don't their missions not progress if you don't cure it?
Yeah, but if you don't, like, just wait until you're at the... Oh, Lady Farron says she has 17. So they don't seem to be that rare.
But, like, I'm gonna infect people more than 17 times in this game.
Hang on, I wonder if I have a Dragon Archive, because I think I do. You could try posting a link. I don't know if it would.
Yeah, I just have to approve it.
Yeah, okay.
I want a dumpling. Why are you ignoring me? I want a dumpling.
We've had this discussion before.
I want a dumpling.
It's hard for me to get food from Australia to Canada.
Okay, but I want a dumpling.
You know the worst part?
What?
I have dumplings in the kitchen right now.
I knew it! Ah! I know! The snack covenant was speaking to me. I am an oracle of dumplings.
I eat a lot of dumplings because you can get them for $2.50 a box at the supermarket.
But your dumplings are vegetarian dumplings, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Get me some dumplings, please. It's my birthday, Richie! Get me some dumplings!
Oh, apparently NPCs can die from dragon rot.
Well, I mean, it sounds
that.
like a pretty harsh disease. Like, they're coughing and they're, like, weak and, like, it's like blood and...
I'm gonna have to be careful then, because I don't.
Are you eating dumplings? I see you chewing. Oh, Richie's eating dumplings in my face.
I'm eating a salad roll.
A salad roll? What's that?
Good.
What is that?
It's a roll with lettuce, tomato, and pepper in it.
Give me that.
I don't think it would survive the journey to Canada.
Hi, Don. Welcome to the... Oh, shit. That's my seat. My thing. Oh, no. It's fine. I didn't break it. Okay. Hi, Don. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, Mike. Rich is bullying me by not giving me food.
Well, I am looking for work, so if I get a position in Canada...
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
I'll bring you food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess, 2.5 hours. I thought this was last like 30 minutes. This intense stream is intense. I guess, I mean...
Oh, hang on.
Yeah?
Got a question about... Cost of the Air's Blood reviving you at a cost come into gameplay. The gameplay cost is the dragon. Like, that's what it is. Azuran's worried they caught the last seconds. If you just, like, bookmark the URL or hit... Like, if you press like, it'll just show up in your liked videos. Because it's just going to go unlisted, it's not going to be private or anything.
Yeah.
Oh god, I found some of the, Dragon Kingdom stuff I saved in 2005. Oh my god!
What? What?
I completely blocked out. He wrote a story, like a prose story, about he meets William in real life, and then they exchange sizes. So he becomes giant and William becomes human, and then he goes to he, as a giant, he walks to the ruins of the World Trade Center after 9/11.
Oh my god.
And says, why would Osama bin Laden do this? It makes me sad. Boo-hoo.
Oh my god! Oh damn! Oh, that's intense.
Like I said, he was a very odd...
Seriously odd.
I'm just flicking through them now. I found the one where William becomes a rapper because too big to play an instrument.
Aww. I did.
Yeah, Dragon Kingdoms is more meta than... I think if Dragon Kingdoms had come out in 2015, it would be the game everyone is obsessed with now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe we should cover it.
I don't think I have the games anymore, and I just have the comic.
Oh.
The games were just grinding because he was obsessed with Dragon Quest. So it would just be like just dungeon after dungeon, getting your stats up, and then William would say something. Oh, and he helpfully included, like, if you haven't played other Dragon Kingdoms games, here's a way to he's like a primer, and you could, one of the questions you could always ask is, why is William so big? Oh yeah. There was one where he said, I'm finally going to reveal why William is so huge, and he hyped it up for like ages, and then it finally came out, and the answer was, well, I guess his parents were also huge.
That's so
well, it doesn't explain anything! But then he kind of retcons it by saying, like, that the goddess of the world made William huge so he could protect everyone.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, and here we go. Wow, I'm standing between these two huge trees. Wait, these aren't trees. It's William's legs, and then William says, I'm not a tree.
Oh.
Well, here's a slightly more raunchy one where someone fell down.
You cut out where someone what?
Someone fell down William's pants.
Oh my god!
And I'm quoting this directly from the comic. I don't know what's scarier, the fact I almost fell to my doom, or the fact his ween is bigger than I am. And ween is in inverted commas.
Arish says, we are now back on the topic of giant lore. Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
I just found Don't Rush William. Hurry up, William, or I'll give you a boomerang.
What's
And he's
that?
gonna throw it. Kevin, stop rushing me or I'll pound you into the ground. I don't care, William. Hurry up.
Yeah, Mike, that was it.
Oh, here's the crossover where the cast of Dragon Quest show up and they say, well, I can't beat William, he's even bigger than the dragon.
Whoa.
Canonically, William is 100 feet tall and weighs 1.4 million tons.
Oh, just like me!
And then at one point I asked him, like, also, like, what's William made of if he's, like, that heavy? And he just said, well, only I understand the physics of Dragon Kingdom. It's like, fair enough.
Aww.
Oh yeah, and every comic had an American flag with God bless him at the start of it. There's the one where William shrinks and visits them and they don't recognize him because he's small, even though he looks exactly the same. Thomas, what part of I got shrunk don't you understand? I don't know who you are, you're a stranger pretending to be William.
Aww.
Yeah, now here's a comic about how there's a city that operates, the entire economy is based on William ruining things. Because he keeps breaking things, they have to keep paying people to fix them, and that's literally the entire economy of the town. But, like, this is all... none of this is presented as a joke, is the thing. Like, that's what made it so endearing, because this is at the time when there were, like, so many shitty webcomics that were just like, I'm in an RPG, wait, what's the deal with random encounters? Or like, wait, I killed a bird, but it gave me money, that doesn't make sense. This is that, but posed as serious questions. And I just flicked to a random panel. Wow, William looks even bigger from down here. It's pretty... Oh, yeah, fuck, there was a time paradox one as well that just came out of nowhere. Where, like, it wasn't explained, but someone found... One of the characters finds William's skeleton in the desert. No, I remember now. No, this is what happened. William finds his own skeleton in the desert.
Uh-huh.
And he thinks that it's a vision of the future.
Oh, no.
And then he opens his sword up, and there's someone inside, and he says, like, I've got to get them out of the Great Sword, or I'm gonna... He says, oh no, that skeleton looks like me. If I don't get him out of the Great Sword, I'm gonna disappear. Like some time paradox thing. And then it's like Back to the Future or something, and he starts fading away.
Oh, no.
But then it's revealed that it was all a joke, and what happened was when they were in the desert, they just found a giant skeleton and dressed it as William to prank him, which made him think there was a time paradox.
Uh-huh.
The thing, he would send these to me, and I'd be like, cool.
It does sound cool.
Yeah, it is. It's like...
Meow.
Yeah. God, these are like 14 years old. Oh, here's one where the greedy character becomes a giant and robbs a bank because he's giant. Stop it, William. This building belongs to me. I don't know why he started to fade away. That may have been a lot of it was a dream and not explained. I remember one of the comics just began with the character waking up with a start and screaming, I have a strange feeling somebody is about to zap William. And then it's just never paid off. Yep, here's another weather episode. There's like a you have to imagine like a fantasy map with like kingdoms and things on it, but like the weather equivalent, so it's showing like the climate and different like humidities and air pressures and things around this kingdom. You can see that the temperature is ranging from -10 to the 40s in Fahrenheit. And as a result of this, the harbor has frozen and the characters can't travel north. I'm finding them because I saved them. Like at the time, because he would send them to me. But yeah, I think he's still around. I think he's still making these. Oh, here's the one where William gets sucked into the Wizard of Oz. Watch out, Dorothy. That guy's huge. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. My name's William. And then it ends with like the Wicked Witch being crushed by the house, and then it's like, uh-oh, what's under their house as a cliffhanger? But it's just an event from the film. Like, it's... You would know if you'd seen it what happened. Here's where William saves them, because there's... The air pressure in the kingdom has become too low, and there might be a hurricane. So William just picks up the house and runs away with it. Oh yeah, Kernsback just said, a guy gets crushed with an ice cube, and then Pac-Man goes show up to complain if it happens again, that William will come to take care of both of you. That is exactly what happens in this comic.
Hi Marshall, welcome to the stream. We're talking about something very surreal and dreamy and amazing. Maybe the best webcomic ever created.
This dragon's about to know how it feels to be crushed under hundreds of tons of weight. And then it just ends with someone waking up, and luckily it was.
What's up, Moros? Welcome to the stream. Is the stream still going?
Well, yeah.
But where are my dumplings?
Ninja Sticks wants to know if anyone's unlocked Spiral Cloud Passage. I haven't, because I haven't played it. But I will go back to it eventually.
Okay, but Richie.
Yeah.
If I don't get snacks soon, I'm gonna start getting grumpy.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you want in my life?
Well, how would you rate your mood now?
Just if, like tired?
Okay.
But like, if I get snacks, I'll be nice and not tired. My boyfriend went to the fridge. My love, what are you doing? What are you making? Pizza. Oh snap, boyfriend's gonna make us pizza. Oh, what a perfect boyfriend that is. Look at that. Did you see that? Did you see that?
William just streamed, "Help, I'm stuck in a giant hot dog."
Oh. Do you have any hot dogs? I could use a hot dog.
No.
Oh. So, you know...
Oh yeah, I'm at the final arc now, which was called "You Would Cry Too If This Happened to You." If we don't kill that giant, his tears will drown us all. Oh yeah, they try to kill William to stop crying, but it just hurts him, so he cries more.
Aww.
And then one of them says, "Well, that was real smart. Now the water's even higher." And then the narrator says, "Looks like if Tom gets any more ideas, there could be big trouble." Azuran just beat Ashina Elite. I think I know who you mean. He's like the guy before Genichiro. Yeah, Uthmathar just got to the one where William crushes a dragon, and then it ends with luckily.
It ends with what?
It just ends with luckily it was all a dream. Oh yeah, I remember another one where Tom, who is a self-insert for the author, grew so large he could eat the moon. And he just said, "Eating the moon, I don't like being this big," and I think that was... Oh yeah, I found the crystal prisoner. It's like in Superman when they're banished to the Phantom Zone. It kind of looks like that. Anyway, this is the greatest webcomic ever made, probably. And I feel really bad that people made fun of him.
Yeah, people need to knock that off.
Because it was like completely berserk nonsense. But everyone was just like, "Oh, the art's bad." Like, I think you're missing the point of why this is.
Yeah.
It's like he's stuck a USB in his subconscious. And the end result was this comic. I'm at the one now where the giant M&M destroys a city. But in order to avoid upsetting, like, the company, he calls it a W and W. Why, this W and W candy beast is not little at all. Stop destroying the city.
Oh, Richie. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
You know what it's making me think of?
What?
Have you ever seen... what's it called? Oh my god, the name escapes me right now, but it's, okay. It's, a milkshake, a fries, and a meatball, and they're like, they're like superheroes. And they like defend the city.
Oh, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes! Yeah!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it! It's the best! It's like one of my favorite cartoons ever.
Okay, so William notices a storm and says, "Uh-oh, looks like a storm is on the way." Then the storm gets a face and says, "Did you miss me, little boy? I went to the tropics for winter, but now I'm back." And then William says, "I'm not little at all. I'm bigger than a house. I'm as far from little as you can get." And then he electrocutes William. And then it cuts to the characters at home watching the Weather Channel talking about how they worry. Like, he puts so much thought into the climate of this world. It's like how Tolkien created languages. This guy creates weather patterns.
Are people still here? Are they still listening to this? What's happening?
There's 53 people watching.
Hello. Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Is there a point to this still going?
I don't know.
With the other ones, I'm like, I'll stick with you until you beat some.
Yeah. Well, I was after the thing. I'm like, oh, we'll be on for a few more minutes, and then you started talking about the comic, and then it just it never stopped.
Okay.
So I don't know. What do we do? Does anybody have any suggestions? What is this? What's happening? Oh, you guys are here.
Okay, so you know that the armored guy.
Yeah, I know how to beat him. I know what's happening. My boyfriend fought him. I found.
Yeah, you don't have to like deflect him.
Wait, you don't? What do you have to do? That I didn't know. I thought you just like.
No, because
push
he's
him
so
off the
slow.
edge. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's so slow, you can just walk behind him and just hit him, and he takes so long to turn around. You're not at risk of being hit.
Oh, je vois. Merci.
Yeah. Are we a fan of treasure games? I am. I don't know if Sin is.
What's a treasure game?
Treasure were a company in the I think they're technically still around, but they just do licensed stuff. They were a company in the 90s who made a lot of like really fast action games like Gunstar Heroes, Mischief Makers. They did license stuff that was actually good. Like they made a McDonald's game, where it's just like this platform game about Ronald McDonald. That if you saw that, you'd think, oh, this is some cash in, but it's really good. Yeah, Radiant Silvergun, that's another one. Ikaruga. Hello, Xenolalia.
Hi, Xenolalia.
Yeah, Alien Soldier, that is awesome. You should play Alien Soldier, it's a shoot 'em up with parrying.
Oh yeah?
You have to parry bullets.
That sounds awesome.
You play as a bird. You're this like really awesome looking alien Birdman, and it's essentially just a boss rush. Like the levels are extremely short. There's just tons and tons of bosses, and what you do is like you have a move where you parry the bullets, and that's how you get power ups. So you have to fight the bosses and just like punch the bullets out of the air to get stronger, and then like. You have like 4 different. You can have 4 weapons at once. You have to cycle. Like, it's on Steam. There's like a port of it. Yeah. And it has this amazing, like, it's just a shoot 'em up, but it has this amazingly convoluted story where like you are like you were a terrorist who was sent into like a black hole, and then you come back to life in the body of a child and have to fight your own clone.
Whoa.
Hang on, like if you think Dark Souls has a confusing story, let's get the Alien Soldier story.
Oh, my love, my boyfriend is here saying hi.
Hi.
Hi. He's waving. We're waving back at you, my love.
Okay, here's the plot of Alien Soul.
Okay.
Earth was in terrible crisis in the year 2015. The shadow of the evil terrorist group called Scarlet blocked the way to the outside universe for human beings. Members of Scarlet consisted of artificial creatures created by humans using super genetic engineering. They are the secret society intended to destroy the human race. In addition to high intelligence and strong fighting power, they have special abilities capable of parasitic existence within human beings, animals, and machinery. By using these abilities, they conquered humans and were about to obtain supremacy over Earth. Humans plan to assassinate Epsilon Eagle, the boss of the Scarlet Group, with a special combat group capable of using superpowers dispatched in secret. The sudden attack by the group using its superpowers seriously damaged Epsilon and threw him into the time-space continuum, which had been liberated using superpowers. Later, as Tiger gained power from Scarlet by taking advantage of the confusion, terrorism toward humans became much more violent. On the other hand, the hatred toward Tiger within the Scarlet Group because of their cruel acts became bitter, and voices for restoration of Epsilon became stronger. Tiger, who was isolated from the other group members, decided to assassinate Epsilon. In order to liberate the time-space continuum, they attacked the human research laboratory where boys and girls with superpowers were kidnapped. At that time, Tiger sensed the existence of Epsilon in one of the boys. However, he could not read the evil will from Epsilon, who was a parasite in the boy's body. Tiger was much confused and took a girl as hostage and demanded Epsilon release the boy. The boy, who was beside himself with rage, converted his body to Epsilon. A birdman with steel wings took over the boy's will. In his mind, his real nature, human justice, battled with the foreign force. Tiger sensed unknown power in Epsilon and escaped after killing the girl. Epsilon speaks, "I'll never let you go, Tiger." There is another birdman who has Epsilon's body, however. His will is full of evil ambition and no one knows his true intention. So...
What the fuck was that?
That is the text that just scrolls up at the start of Alien Soldier. And then the gameplay is just you punching bullets.
Jesus.
And yeah, it's on Steam for pretty cheap, like, because there's a bunch of Genesis. I think they retranslate the intro slightly, but it's the same completely berserk story.
Guess what? We got a new patron! So somebody watched the stream and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing! Yeah! Oh, thank you! On my birthday too! So sweet!
Aww.
Yeah.
Did you just hear Ingrid?
Yeah, she's like, happy birthday, Sid, and I'm like, thank you, Ingrid, you're the best.
Oh, she bit me really badly yesterday and I had to have a bandage.
Aww.
Because it's cold, so she just sits on my lap all day, and then if I get up, she's very, very angry that I disturbed her nice warm spot to sit, and she just, like, attacks me.
Aww. So, they signed up for the $5 tier, and I'm just looking through what's available, and one of the things that they will get to see is called Australian Sausage Sizzle.
What?
Australian Sausage Sizzle!
I don't remember any of this.
I know. Oh my god! There's one that's 35 seconds long, and it's me teaching you how to pronounce asphalt.
Great! This is a really good ad for the Patreon.
Yeah! There's, let's see, what else that's good? In the $2 tier, there's actually... Okay, there's a good one. It's 30 minutes long and it's called Thupmiru Lauren Bergenworth Refresher. I don't know how that got there because that sounds like an actual legit podcast.
Right.
Yeah. And then... Oh, The Four Kings After Dark. Remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I'll listen to it. 4 Kings After Dark, 12 minutes long.
This Patreon is like, it's like if someone said, "Oh, your personal correspondences for the last 5 years have been leaked."
Yeah.
It's like I was hacked. Only I consented to it, and you charged people money.
Death Stranding failed analysis of trailer number 5, 1 hour and 10 seconds long. Even though I don't remember that. Okay, cool. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Boyfriend, how long for the pizza, my love? Boyfriend put pizza in the oven, but it's taking too long. Oh my god, look at Zolalia. Quantity has a quality all of its own.
Yes, speaking
Joseph Stalin, 1938, speaking on Sinclair's Patreon. Thank you, Zena.
God, someone said join the $50 tier. The thing is, we started that as a joke. Because clearly no one will donate that, and like 3 people did.
Yeah, because they love us so much. It's true love. Also, the reward for that tier is shame. So I shamed them on Discord when they signed up.
I remember the time you came up, because you were like, well, we had everything at the $20 tier, what will I give them at 50? And I said, there's nothing else you can give them, and you went, no, Richard. I will give them shame.
Okay, so... okay, we're ready for this.
Okay.
Are we ready for this?
Treat this like a Dark Souls fight or a Bloodborne fight. Just dodge behind.
You can keep talking. I'm just like motivating myself.
Just dodge behind him when he's swinging, and then when he starts like he does this sort of tantrum mode where he starts slamming his sword into the ground over and over. If he starts doing that, just run. Because all he really does is like overhead. So if you just stay behind, him, he can't.
Why does he look like an Abyss Watcher?
Do you want the full like explanation for this guy?
Okay, give us the full explanation for this guy.
You know how you've got the firecrackers and they're called Robert's firecrackers?
Yes.
And it says like Robert and his father came from it says the South Seas. Because Robert was sick and his father was trying to heal him with the divine power of what's under Ashina. So the idea is that Robert and his father they're from like Europe, presumably. So that's Robert's father, and that's why he's wearing like medieval looking plate armor. Because he's meant to be like a European kind of plate mail knight guy. And I think it's like Miyazaki taking like a shot at Souls, saying like, oh look, you know, all these like slow-paced combat focused on defense, but nothing compared to a shinobi. So yeah, the guy you're fighting now is Robert's father.
Oh.
There's like I don't know if you saw it, but there's a conversation you can eavesdrop on where they talk about him.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, they talk like we had to like weld him into the arm or something, like fitted to his skin, and he can't get out of it.
Why? For the sake of my son.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Damn. Okay, I'll just die. Thank you, Astynax.
Ouch.
Sin, you can jump over. I keep forgetting that you can jump. Like, I know that you can jump in the game, but in boss fights, I keep forgetting you can do that.
You can use those, the little hat guys as, like, stepping stones. Like, you can jump on the hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. C'est vrai ça?
Al Hazred's Gaming Goo is suggesting that it's actually Robert, who I remember showing you, and you thought he was Photoshop.
Sorry, what? I didn't... What?
You were having a discussion with me about, like, actors with impressive chins. And I showed you Robert Zadar, who has one of the largest chins
Yes,
I've
the
ever
ultimate
seen.
slave. Yeah.
And you thought he was Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Zadar died a few years ago. He was a stalwart B-movie actor. Basically just played large people who didn't talk.
Yeah, and that podcast is also available on Patreon.
I didn't even know it was a podcast. I thought we were just talking.
It's the James Franco podcast, remember?
Jesus. You have to get behind him.
Don't tell me how to live my life. He has a little bit of Vortiture going on there now.
Okay, get away from him when he does that.
Okay, well, there's a delay, so obviously I'm already dead, bruh.
When he, like, crouches down and starts, like, doing his, like, weird tantrum move, just,
Is he the one you think looks like Gale, or...?
Yeah, I think that's, like, partially Gale's move. I recognize it from something, that, like, slamming animation.
I think it's Vortiture. I feel Vortiture vibes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah.
Yep. When are you gonna make more videos?
I like how you've titled this, you've changed the title to explain something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
You've left in no damage run.
Oh, I forgot that's there. Oops. My bad. Whatever, it was your suggestion. Why are you acting like it was my suggestion when it was your suggestion? You're like, oh, it's going to be really funny if you put no damage run, and I did, and now you're like, oh, son, why did you put no damage run? Like, you're
because I keep
like
suggesting things as jokes, and then you just do them.
Yeah, so you should know by now. My son is also named Warditor Eden. You get 7 billion points for knowing the title of Rich's video. That's one of my favorite titles, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to find out the story behind Vort's babies that Lance found.
Yeah. Rich, so you didn't answer my question that I whispered into the microphone.
Oh, one day.
Okay.
The story for another time.
Oh shit, Jem was like, I came here for professional gameplay.
Yeah, I had... With the ball, I just threw firecrackers, hit it on the side. People are wondering about Vort's babies. If you haven't seen it, because, like, Lance showed it off and then just never really followed up on it, I think, because there's nothing to really say. Vort's model has an option to attach a whole lot of little babies to the bottom of it. They have these, like, weird little, like, fetus... Not fetuses, like, just, like, infants. That are clinging to the bottom of him, and they have this... They kind of look like they have the Ember effect applied to them. And that's just, like, part of his model that the game makes invisible, that you can... Like, it's there, you can restore it if you want. If you have, like, mods, or you, use the in-game model viewer. The thing is, like... Okay, we'll go into, like, Dark Souls, oh, the DualShock battery is low. I think the game is sending you a message.
The game doesn't know what it's talking about.
The thing is, like, when the assets were made, the Boreal Valley was not a thing. So, the idea of him being Vort of the Boreal Valley is something that came, like, after that model was made. So, like... He was for something else we don't know. Because the original idea, like, I think we've gone over this, but I'll just reiterate in case people don't know. The original idea was Anor Londo was going to be in a desert. Instead of the Boreal Valley, it was like the ruins in a desert. The snow that you see in the Boreal Valley now is just that's the sand that they were originally using, but they basically just changed the color and said it was snow. But the sandy assets from the sandy assets were made into snowy assets, basically, and that's why in the intro of the game you see what's very clearly bits and pieces of Irithyll in a desert, because that was the original idea. And it was going to have the Painting Guardians kind of wandering around with the scimitars, and that's why when you go through the catacombs of Karthus to get there, there's all those references of like Karthus of the Sands and the Desert Pyromancers of Karthus. It's because like it was originally going to be a desert area that led to a desert, but they changed it to the Boreal Valley. So that's why, like, so Vought, we don't know what the deal with Vought was, but he wasn't Vought of the Boreal Valley when they, like, designed that thing. The Dancer was going to be from there, that's why she's got the moves, like, her moveset is very similar to the Painting Guardians. She's was something to do with that, and, like, the way that she's got the very long flowing veils is meant to seem like some desert sort of princess thing going on. So, like, we don't know what the original story with Vought was, or the Outriders, because, like, he looks like an Outrider. Internally, they're just called Beast Knight. So we don't really know. Yeah, the Dancer looks like she's related to... The problem with the whole gods thing is, like, there's so many of them that, like, they're all related, but I don't know what the exact relationships are. No, but, like, what I mean about, Vought is that, like, Vought may have had nothing to do with the Dancer originally. He may have been a completely different, like, just something completely unrelated, and then they made Vought of the Boreal Valley. Like, way later on. Like, I don't know, we may, like... The problem is that we've data mined Dark Souls a lot, and I don't know what the deal is. Like, I know if there's anything else to find.
Do you hear that?
I heard a beeping noise.
Yeah, that's the oven telling us the pizza's ready.
Okay, I think, well, the pizza's ready and your DualShock battery is low, so this might be a good idea to end the stream.
Yeah, actually, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 is kind of a Frankenstein at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frackin' Knuckles?
Well, we can talk... When we talk about the right leg in Beasthood, we can bring up Gurman as a Frankenstein thing, because he is.
Okay.
He's made out of, like, I think 4 different characters at this point.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Thanks for coming to the stream, everyone.
Lady Farron's wondering if we'll stream again soon.
I don't know. It depends on if Rich ever wants to talk to me again after this 3-hour stream when I told him it's going to take 30 minutes. We'll find out.
I don't know. Are you doing anything tomorrow? Birthday? Like, you going out?
No, I'm doing something after the week after, on the 6th.
Okay, well, we'll figure out something.
Okay.
I guess we'll talk, like, afterward and figure out what to do.
Oh, look! The stream was lots of fun. Oh.
Yep.
Thank you for the birthday wishes.
Yep.
Yay. Oh, okay, wait. Also, oh, maybe I should make an announcement live. It's also an announcement for you, Richie, because...
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, I just need to do some maths and where is it?
I literally have no idea where this is going, so I'm quite nervous.
Yeah. Okay, just give me a second. Oh, this is weird. Okay, and then okay. So I made a Please announce another Yurshka podcast. No, because that's not a patron goal. We have other goals we have to... Oh yeah, well, you can tell people about our Kingdom Hearts plan.
So you have to wait while you figure something out, and then it's me announcing something.
No, it's... I already figured it out, but somebody made Yurshka, and then I remembered patron, and then I remembered we have a Kingdom Hearts thing.
Yeah, we reached a Patreon goal that I expected we would reach around September, October, but we did it in March. Mm-hmm. And as a result, we now have to stream Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Kingdom Hearts HD collection, which is, I think, all the ones we need to do. So what we're going to do is...
Yeah.
I've heard there's a lot of grinding in Kingdom Hearts, because I've been talking to Mal about it, who is a big Kingdom Hearts fan. She said there was a fair amount of grinding, so what I think I'm going to do is we will stream it, but there might be off-screen stuff just to get the character levels up. Then after we stream it, we will record a series of videos attempting to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to announce something. Well, no, this is really cool. I'm actually really looking forward to it, because I've never played Kingdom Hearts, but I heard about it, and we did a pre-impression, so...
Yeah. My copy is German.
Oh, nice. And
it was the cheapest one.
I love Rammstein, so it's cool. And but maybe I should announce it next stream.
46 gigabytes.
What?
The Kingdom Hearts.
That's not a lot. It's like less than Sekiro, probably.
No, Sekiro is 16.
Oh. Obscure Lobster, welcome to the stream. Are you new?
Apparently the collection is missing 18 important interstitial games. I would not put it past it. It's Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 385 over 2 days, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded. And I think 2 of these are just cutscenes. Oh, okay, Obscure Lobster. The stream's about to end, but if you just bookmark the page, you can just watch it again, because it's going to go unlisted, but not private.
And if you're on Patreon, I'm posting it there on the $2 tier.
Oh yeah, I've heard that none of the Disney stuff has any bearing on the... Great.
I love the...
Oh yeah, there's apparently a phone game that explains how Maleficent can time travel.
Oh.
I know several Kingdom Hearts, so they can guide us through it.
Oh, that's cool. No, that sounds like it's gonna be a ton of fun. Oh, by the way, let me ask you guys, are you watching the Reborn podcast? Since y'all here. Because you should, it's very good.
Trying to prove to me that it was a good idea.
It was a good idea! All my ideas are good ideas.
I know, I agree with you. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what I was doing, the math for... Well, now I started fighting this guy. Okay, let me...
Yeah.
Let us...
You can pause.
Oh my god! Cat. No, pausing is for casuals. Anyway. So what I was saying, Richie, is I made like a survey, because I'm like, well, you know what, maybe doing season 2 of Reborn is a bad idea, and so I will let the people decide. And I was like, should we do season 2 of Reborn? Yes, no. And guess which vote won out?
I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, you're guessing right.
Yeah. But
Yay.
is that because you exclusively polled people who would listen to Reborn?
No, I actually put a poll, one on Twitter and one on YouTube. Okay. So like to catch everyone. And Twitter, there were more yeses than nos, as well as YouTube were more yeses than nos.
There were more yeses than nos. Do you mean like there were 3 more yeses?
No, it's like, okay, that's why I was doing mathematics. It's like basically 60 people were like no, but then like 90 people were like yeah. So, and that's only from those who saw and paid attention to the poll. I'm sure if everybody who watches our channel voted, we'd have like 10,000 yes.
Alright.
I love Richard's reaction to the egg baby. I know, right? Yeah, so look. I binged it all yesterday. I need more. LOL. 20,000, that's right. I voted in favor, thank you. 100,000! Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Reborn podcast equals cool.
What even is season 2?
I like when Richard just says, okay. Season 2 is when they need more characters, because you'll have more characters, so they're gonna need more characters.
I feel like they exhausted everything that could happen in season 1.
The
fact that there's like another 5 is somewhat concerning.
But it's good. I really... Okay, it gets a little bit more serious. It's still funny and silly, but some parts are serious, and some parts are like friendship and morals and like character development. So it's very like, and like obviously you probably know Tsuna will grow as a person, and it's like, oh, little Tsuna's growing up. Aww.
Yeah, he's gonna learn important lessons about morality. His quest to become a mafia boss.
Yeah, that's important, okay? In this mafia, that's important. Is the Spark Hunter robot in season 2? Oh yeah, what did you guys think about the Spark Hunter robot?
Oh my god, I was dreading when you eventually... So all those note podcasts were recorded in one go.
Not all of them, so only the last 10.
My state, only the last 10. So my state of mind gradually deteriorates. Until the Spark Hunter robot is introduced.
Do you remember you gave him a voice and everything, and then
yes,
I asked for a name in the comments, so people have been suggesting names. We could look at it now. Yeah, let's look at names now. Okay. Oh no, we're supposed to end the podcast. Oh my god. Keep going.
Okay, isn't it? It's like, hang on, just on. It's 3 p.m. for me, so it's like 11 for you.
It's midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. Well, I don't have work tomorrow or anything. So.
Yeah, but like
what?
I think midnight.
The pizza, yeah! I have to go eat pizza. Okay. Okay, Richie.
You finally stopped the podcast with food. It's like, I don't care, no stopping anything. We have pizza. Oh, pizza!
Okay, Richie, are you ready?
Okay.
Do the outro.
That was a discussion of giants in the Dark Souls series and also Dragon Kingdom. A comic unrelated to Dark Souls but is about giants.
Uh-huh.
We laughed, we cried, we learned a lot.
Yes.
It would probably still be going if there wasn't food to distract Sim.
Oh, Richie, it went for about 3 hours and 19 minutes and 7 seconds. And we were thinking of doing a 10-hour podcast, so I think we can totally do it if we try.
We were thinking of doing a 10-hour podcast.
But I'm just saying, this was effortless. Now imagine if we put some effort into it. I'll do a vote if people want us to do a 10-hour podcast.
I feel like... Okay, so you've made another executive decision.
Yeah.
This is the thing I think people don't understand, is that you will announce things to me and I'll say I didn't agree to it, and you go, it's executive decision!
Yeah. Okay, I have a surprise. You know what? Oh my god. I know. I got this. I will tweet you. I will tag you in a tweet
Every time you say
post.
you have a surprise, I get this like the hair on the back of my neck stands up. Like,
no. Okay, I know. Oh, it's gonna be a surprise on Twitter. So, feel free to check out our Twitter sometime in the next few minutes. Thank you, Richie. That was a very informative podcast. We really appreciate you telling us all about the giants and the other stuff. Yeah, as usual, you enlightened us with your knowledge, and we're grateful.
I went back to Twitter and lost a follower, I think possibly as a result of Vodka's gas coin money holder. That was the last thing I tweeted.
Oh, man. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming, everyone. If you like these, we could do more. And check out the Reborn podcast, and check out the sci-fi podcast that's new as well. We're gonna do Cleopatra 25,
it hasn't
25.
started yet.
It started. We have episode 0, and we have to do Cleopatra 25, 25, which I watched the first season of, even though you're just gonna watch the first 3 episodes.
Cleopatra 25, 25.
The year 25.
Lady Farron wants to have a conversation. Well, they can come on if they have like a topic. Just like
somebody was asking me about it. Just like text us on Twitter or something, and yeah.
Because I'll level with you, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So if anyone comes to us like, I want to talk, it's like, thank you. It's like someone did our homework for us.
Yeah, somebody was asking me like, what are the prerequisites? And I had to be very much like, oh, it depends. When in reality, it's like there's none. Like, there are no prerequisites. There is no preparation. This is a mistake. Okay. Okay, well, thanks so much, everyone. The intro music is coming to a close, so the stream has to end. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.